All right, we're
Yo
live.
guys, welcome to another live of Sport Intellect, and I'm here joined by Sanjeet and Abel, and we are gonna talk about the IPL auction day one review. And so let's start off. And if you guys want, like, you guys can post your questions in as well, and we'll be answering them. So let's start off with Chennai Super Kings. They spent 27.5 crores today, and they have a purse of 20.45 crores left. And they have filled in 10 players in, which are out of 25 of the maximum slot, and 18 players and two overseas slots. So they've got a huge buy of today is Deepak Chahar. What do you think about that buy of Deepak Chahar? 14 crores. Is it a reasonable price for Deepak Chahar?
Oh, Sanjay, you can take that first.
Mm, I am a fan of Deepak Chair, but the thing is, Dhoni has been the kind of captain who runs with Deepak Chair. He makes him bowl 3 overs up front. So Deepak Chair definitely maybe a couple of crores. I think I would have valued him a couple of crores lesser. Maybe somewhere around 9 or 10 would have been just right. 14 a bit much, but we knew other teams would poke their nose in and make this difficult for them because we knew MS Dhoni wanted him. It was very evident. So yeah, I think a little more expensive than I thought what he could have gone. Now now the problem is with Bravo not in the original form the way he used to be. I feel death bowling is going to be a problem now for them. Bravo has always carried, and also they always had even Shardul Thakur who could swing the ball around, and he always bowled over or two up front and somewhere in the middle too. Because he's not very fast, but he gets the ball moving. He
Yeah.
has that knack. He picks wickets also in the middle, and now they've lost him too. So keeping that in mind, I feel Deepak Chahar at 14 crores as a single bowler, great. But if you play him out, then I feel the bowling department is lacking. If they could have had a little more cushion with the budget, I think they could have done a little better. But then you want what you want. If they hadn't done that, maybe they would have had no Deepak Chahar either. So
Yeah, wait.
yeah,
Did you
um,
mention Bravo is gone? No, Bravo is still there. Yeah, he's still there.
Bravo's there. Bravo's there.
yeah,
Bravo's
Yeah.
there.
yeah. But what I said was Bravo hasn't been in that kind of color that he's always been. I mean, last couple of IPLs, he's gone for about a good 9.5, 10 runs and over at the end, and he's bowled slower balls. Maybe just got a little more predictable, or maybe more people have started doing that, so it's slightly more easier to pick now, or
Yeah.
maybe something of that sort. But he's been slightly off color.
Hmm.
So you always, if there's one strong bowler, that every team has it, but then you need somebody to complement that or to do something
Hmm.
different in the middle. CSK have lost Shardul Thakur. Bravo is a little off the edge, and I mean, it's a Deepak Chair is a good buy at 14
Yeah.
crores. Like I said, a little too expensive for my taste. But then
Yeah.
I don't know how much of good it will be doing for the team because now they are low on budget to get somebody else, somebody like a Trent Bolt also who could who could bowl fast, swing it in. But they've lost that because they're slightly low on budget. A good thing is they have filled 10 players though with about 20 crores left in the purse, maybe they're going to go for one more big buy, about 8, 9, or 10 crores, maybe two about 5, 6 crores each. But
Yeah.
then the aim is they have to have another fast bowler who can complement Deepak Chahar, who will bowl in the death, who can bowl at least 2 overs or 3 overs in the death, something of that, because Chahar will bowl three up front.
Hmm. I think CSK have just only used two overseas slots so far, so they have five remaining, and that's a big thing for them. And they've got 20 crores remaining, right? So I think, as Sanjeev rightly mentioned, they will be going for a fast ball and overseas quick. Tomorrow you will have the likes of Lungi and Giri, you'll have Romario Shepherd, and some of the overseas quicks coming, David Willie, who they have previously used. So they might go in for these kind of players who they've tried and tested, because that's the kind of template we are seeing from CSK, especially in this auction. I just have one question. Are you a bit surprised that they're still going back and sticking back to their old strategy of picking those players? Because MS Dhoni last year came out saying that they want to build a squad for 10 years of whatever they've done. Now, if you look, out of the 9 players, 8 players are from the last year's championship winning unit. And only one player they got different probably is Tushar Deshpande. Other than that, almost everyone is of the last year's championship winning squad. You got everybody who's 35 plus. We have always talked about this. They're a very aging squad. Now you have MS Dhoni who's coming, who has not played any cricket. You definitely know in modern day game it's not good. It's gonna catch up at some time. You are a championship winning squad. You have Ruturaj Gaikwad who's giving But for the surprise, now you don't have a Faf du Plessis who was actually complimenting Ruturaj Gaikwad to a far extent. That team worked on the opening stand is that Faf du Plessis and Ruturaj Gaikwad. Now that's going to be messed to a very far extent. So
They've
for
lost Raidu too, who could do something similar.
Raidu is
they
there.
have, Raidu is there. They're Raidu.
Oh damn! Oh,
Yeah, they've rival. So that's a good positive. See, that's what I'm talking about. If I'll just read out their squad just for the reference, and their squad goes like this. They got in the opening, the batting slot, they got Ruturaj Gaikwad, Robin Uthappa. They've got in the keeper slot, they've got MS Dhoni, Ambati Raidu. Then they've got Ravindra Jadeja, Moeen Ali, Dwayne Bravo on the all-rounders list. And in the bowling list, it's Tushar Deshpande, K.A. Asif, and Deepak Jain. Three fast bowlers, four I would count, even Bravo. Two all-rounders or spin bowling all-rounders, two keepers, and two batters. Out of this, everybody has played last year's final, right? Most of them have. And
yes.
so it shouldn't surprise you that they've gone for this squad. They want to desperately get the success. They're hoping that they can repeat what they did last year, and they wanted to go for Shah Rukh Khan as well. If you look, they went to bid for him. They went to bid for Avesh Khan. They did go to bid for so many players, but 14 crores. Let me ask you, Sanjay, do you think 14 crores is a bit too much for Deepak Chahar?
Like I said again, yes, it is. There's this somewhere jeopardizes their ability to pick another fast bowler of similar caliber, if not greater. So, I mean, the problem is not always getting one player. If you spend overspend on one player, it's like somewhere down the line you are compromising on your second best option. Like we see it with Bumrah very often. If a total is not big to chase, if a team is chasing 135 or 140, they're more than happy
Yeah,
to play Bumrah for 15 runs in his 4 overs and chase down the remaining in 16 overs. That's more than possible. So
yeah,
so they need another bowler stepping up. Deepak Chahar, and like I said, Deepak Chahar will bowl three up front. He almost always does. And he has someone like a wicket taking option like Shardul Thakur, who will come in the middle. He swings the ball. He leaks runs more often than not. But he is that 2 wicket, 3 wicket bowler. And but all these players have fetched big bucks, and people like to take wickets now. The game is changing a little. So, I mean, it does jeopardize CSK's wish to have another support bowler who can do almost as well as Deepak Chahar will. But yeah, 14 crores for me a bit much, but we've had a few surprises today. So
yeah. Let's go to, I think, RCB. I think, Sankey, you want to take that? RCB?
Yeah,
Let's RCB.
let me just see their buys. Yeah. So they spent 47 crores on the auction today and 9.25 crores left. And they have only managed to fill 11 players, 7 Indian and 4 overseas. So what
Yeah.
do you guys think on this? Like, any surprises that you guys found today to RCB that actually I thought, Dinesh Karthik, I never thought RCB would actually go for him, actually, take him
Yeah.
as a keeper option.
I have an
I
interesting theory here. I have an interesting theory. Let me read out their buys. They got Virat Kohli and Faf du Plessis in batting position. In wicketkeeping position, they've got Anuj Rawat, whom they bought for 3.4 crores. I don't know why they've gone for him. The two innings he has played for Rajasthan, he's got out for duck both the times. Uh, Now, Dinesh Karthik for 5.5 crores. Glenn Maxwell, who's one of the all-round, was retained. They got Shahbaz Ahmed, who they got back. Harshal Patel for 10.75 crores, whom they got back. Akashdeep Singh was a good buy, 20 lakhs. Banandu Hasaranga for 10.75 crores as well. Mohammad Siraj for 7 crores. And Josh Hazelwood for 7.75 crores. So if you look at RCB's lineup, they've got probably a starting lineup, starting 11 ready because I think this will be their four overseas players who will start in their main 11 as well, which includes Vandu Hasranga, Faf du Plessis, Glenn Maxwell, and Josh Hazelwood. So they're pretty clear with the overseas slot. And if you look at the squad balance, just leave behind the price they paid for them, their squad is pretty well balanced. Just leave along the price they played for them. The squad looks very balanced. Harshal Patel can bat. Vandu Hasranga can bat. They have a long batting order. Probably two position they'll definitely look for is a number 3 position or an opening position, along with a number 6 finishing role. So these are two positions they'll definitely hunt for, and probably they look for both the positions. They will be filled by Indians. Right now, as I mentioned, they will have definitely the overseas slots filled, and that's why I felt RCB had a decent day, probably an 8 out of 10 day in the auction. Probably I'll say 7 out of 10 day because I felt they overpaid a little for Harshal Patel. We didn't discuss this in the afternoon lunch break session as well when we came live. Is Harshal Patel going to be same as effective as he's going to be in Chidambaram Stadium or anywhere else where the pitches are going to be tacky? So the what our theory was back in the afternoon was that in Mumbai in these kind of pitches, Harshal Patel will not be the bowler who will give you 32 wickets every season. So that's a big trust they have put up on Harshal Patel to they banked on him, expecting that they'll repeat that performance of what he did last year. So that's an interesting thing from what RCB has done. But other than that, I feel just looking at the squad banner, it looks good on the paper. But how often have we said about RCB, right? On paper they look one of the finest teams, but it's about how they go out there and execute. I think Faf du Plessis looks like the captaincy candidate for them on the paper.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's going to be the captaincy candidate. And good news for them is that he's in form. He just scored 100 today in the Bangladesh Premier League, so he's in touch with the subcontinent conditions and how ball has been, and the ball has been spinning quite a lot in Bangladesh Premier League. So he's been able to cope up with that. So the good news for fans is that you've got a good opener now. Now you need probably a backup opener or a number 3 option and a number 6 option and few overseas buys. I'm expecting them to go for someone like a Romeo Shepherd or Odean Smith alongside an overseas fast bowler as backup. Who I'm expecting it to be probably could be Chamira, could be anyone who probably they might have tried and tested as well. So altogether, it looks good. Maybe they might go for some of the under 19 players as well who have done well. So as of now, all the teams have got limited purse. They had a splurge day today where they splurged on players and players had a very good day. Tomorrow it's going to be more of a negotiation day. How much they can get bargain buys and how far they can build the squad. Most of the teams have built their core today, and most of the teams have already sorted out their starting 11. Almost 8 to 9 players are sure starters. And you asked about Dinesh Karthik. I think if you look at Indian wicketkeeper batsmen in the circuit, how many of them can finish the game? You got a Rishabh Pant, you got Ishan Kishan, and who? Ridhiman Saha cannot finish the game. Srikar Bharat was an option, but still he bats on top of the order. He was not a number 6 option for RCB. The only option you have in Indian circuit when it comes to wicketkeeper batsmen who can finish the game is Dinesh Karthik. And he has done that for KKR. He's done that consistently for whichever teams he has played for. He's definitely a very good player against spin, and he's playing under pressure. India cap player. He's got that experience. So I feel that's where 5.5 crores for Dinesh Karthik is not a bad option at all. But then it depends how much he can deliver. For KKR, he wasn't good last season. And he's just making his comeback on a domestic circuit, a decent domestic circuit, where he took Tamil Nadu to the finals of the Vijay Hazare Trophy as well, and he had a decent domestic circuit where he scored a couple of 50s and 100. So altogether, a good buy in Dinesh Karthik. But I would like to see them go for someone like a Vishnu Vinod or Azharuddin, who did not go sold today. But as I mentioned yesterday, also Vishnu Vinod is a terrific player. He can finish games for you. At the same time, he can bat anywhere in the batting order. So I'm quite surprised none of the teams went for him, and they went for Anuj Rawat, who hasn't been an impressive option in my mind, because 3.4 crores for a wicket-keeping batsman who isn't very mediocre in domestic circuit. Who he's not a striker of the ball. He strikes at 120. If you look at his
Right.
T20 strike rate, and he's a better player of longer formats where he bats, where he's got a very good average and he's got a very good temperament as well. So having him in T20 cricket could I have my doubts on that. Sanjit, you can take over from there.
My problem is actually I find Dinesh Karthik and Fanda first to be a very good buy. He's always been a person who's gone for 12, 13, 15, and 16. And the thing is, one thing that I feel that many of them miss out is with Dinesh Karthik is that he's always been with competition with MS Dhoni, and that's
Yeah.
a 1 in 20 year, 1 in 50 year kind of player. If there was no MS Dhoni, then the best limited overs wicketkeeper we had in that amount of time is Dinesh Karthik.
Yeah.
Whenever Dinesh Karthik's got a chance, he's played well. It's been very limited, the amount of chance he's gotten. Plays spin wonderfully. I think Dinesh Karthik with RCB will be a good fit. He's played there before. Only
Yeah.
problem I find with RCB though is their bowling. How good is Hasranga going to be if the matches don't happen? If they say it doesn't happen at CCA. CCA has big boundaries and stuff. Say it happens at Chinnaswamy. Say from next year. How will Hasranga be able to? Because Chahal is also somebody very special who has had the ability to go at about 7.5 at Chinnaswamy. Will Hasaranga be able to defend that? Harshal Patel, I see him going for runs as he always has in Indian conditions. He's bowled very well in the UAE, but he's gone for runs here. Shehbaz Ahmed, I feel at 2.5 crores is a good buy.
Yeah,
He's able to contain every now
yeah,
and then. He's able to contain. He's got a couple of big wickets also.
yeah,
Shahbaz Ahmad, I feel, yeah, Shahbaz, even and I follow Shahbaz Ahmad in the domestic circuit. He's very accurate with the ball, and I think
yeah,
a good amount of accuracy with the ball is very important, which I
yeah,
don't find Harshal Patel and Hasaranga having. Josh
yeah.
Hazelwood, though, I feel is something that you know they spend a good amount of money for him, but I think Hazelwood is a good buy. But how much is he going to play? Is he or is he not missing the first couple of matches they're going to play? Is Maxwell going to roll his arm over? How effective is his bowling contribution going to be at the Chinnaswamy?
Mm.
And Virat Kohli is also looking off color. I mean, they actually, if they play in Chinnaswamy, this looks like a team that's gonna have some trouble. To be honest, I mean, and in all that chaos going around and the other problems that I see, I feel Dinesh Karthik is a batsman who can exploit those conditions well. He has previously. I see him batting slightly up the order, maybe at four, like he did from a couple of teams like Mumbai Indians many years ago. I feel Dinesh Karthik at 500 crores is pretty good. I agree with Abel. Anuj Rawat at 3.4 crores is slightly. I mean, he's been he's if mediocrity had you have to have some kind of impersonation, it would be Anuj Rawat.
Yeah,
Very
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 true.
decent potential, very decent performance also, but
Yeah.
nothing exclusive. But you never know. Sometimes some things just blow up. So I mean, I hope RCB fans would be hoping for that. But Anuj Rawat has been really mediocre with whatever it is.
Hmm.
I'm just as a RCB fan, which I'm not. I'm saying if you are an RCB fan, you would be hoping Virat Kohli gets into color. Otherwise, this team is looks a little bit in trouble for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And tomorrow, only 9 crores left. And what do you think RCB strategy would be? As I mentioned, they will be looking to get those buys for backup options. As of now, what I see is the backup options are the ones which needs to be filled. And as Sanjay rightly mentioned, they would want that finisher. They cannot rely on someone like Anuj Rawat to open the batting or to finish games off. He's still not that level. He's not an IPL level. He's still a domestic circuit level. He's 22 years old, very young. He's got a long way to go. Probably they can groom him for the future. And he's been around the Rajasthan camp for the last couple of years as well. So definitely, he spent quite a bit of time facing Jofra Archer and these lads. And when he got the IPL opportunity, he could definitely not sustain it. You could make out of a player how how good he is and how if he's that special player. Probably with one shot, probably with that confidence. And even domestic circuit, I've been following Anuj Rawat for Delhi. He plays for Delhi. He opened the batting for them in Shahid Mustaq Ali Trophy, and he's a good keeper. Definitely a good keeper, good player with the gloves. But then batting wise, definitely not. He's got a long way to go in terms of that. That's why I felt RCB might have just missed a trick in not getting someone like a Vishnu Vinod for 20 lakhs. It could have been absolute steal because he's got that potential. He's got that hard hitting game which could probably turn games. And Vishnu Vinod has played for RCB a few years ago as well. So that's where probably they could have invested in someone who they know, who knows the culture, and maybe tomorrow going ahead they would definitely want to rethink their auction strategy and focus on probably new players. Let's go to the next team. Yeah,
Yep. Well, who do I take as the next team? Let's go to Delhi Capitals.
yeah,
Yep, and Delhi Capitals, they have spent 31 crores at the auction and a purse left is 16 crores, and they have managed to fill 13 players out of 25, 9 Indians and 4 overseas. I guess that is pretty decent actually comparatively to other teams. They have managed to fill 13 players, and that is actually a good amount of players which with the money they've spent, and they have 16 crores left, which is actually more than like I think almost double to what RCB has. That's
yeah.
what actually gives them an advantage. And I mean, a lot of advantage. And they got batters as Prithvi Shaw and Ashwin Hebar, David Warner, Rishabh Pant, and yeah, keepers they got Connor Bharat as well this time, and they got a few bowlers: Enric Nokia, Kuldeep Yadav, Shardul Thakur, Mustafizur Rahman, and our all-rounders Akshay Patel, Kamlesh Nagarkoti, Sarfraz Khan, and Mitchell
Shardul
Marsh.
Thakur.
Yep,
Mitchell Marsh.
I think it was he wasn't he was counted as a baller, I guess.
Yeah, I felt Sanjeet. You can take that up first. I'll come to my point. What do you make of this team?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're going to say that, but I feel Shardul Thakur is more an all-rounder than Kamlesh Nagarkoti, at least at this point.
Yeah,
I feel Delhi have done, I mean, I won't say it's very remarkable, but I think they have some really good buys. Prithvi Shaw definitely opens the batting. Who would you want in a T20 team? Shikhar Dhawan or David Warner? At the best of form, David Warner, and they got him at a quarter more than 6 crores. So I feel that's a good buy. Rishabh Pant definitely will captain. He's been pretty decent in his last performance too. Has a good team. Too early to judge his captaincy, but he's hardly put a foot wrong. Sticker Bharat, I'm a fan. I think he should play. Of course, I don't think he's going to keep though. But I mean, he can give you that number four, maybe even number three if you want to. I think he can fit into that role. Sarfaraz Khan, I don't see playing. Mitchell Marsh, again, I mean, the
yeah,
way he's played in the last couple of months, the Bison they call him, I think very justifiably. I think Mitchell Marsh is. I mean, for Delhi Capital, I think today's show has been Mitchell Marsh, 6.5 crores for Mitchell Marsh. I think he would have gone for much more than that. Akshay Patel, again, somebody who hits the ball exactly where he wants it to go. Akshay Patel is definitely going to play. Nagarkoti, I feel he has the pace, but I mean, for 1 crore, if you get someone who can bowl that pace, you give the guy 2 seasons and invest in the person. He needs to put some mass on. That has to happen. He that happens, and Nagarkoti again, a great guy. Sarfaraz Khan can tong the ball every here and there, not done justice to his talent. But it's always good to have somebody who has the potential. He scored a 300 about a couple of years ago. I mean, he
hmm,
definitely has the potential. Nokia, I've echoed my views on this earlier. I mean, he's had a great season in the UAE, but they retained him based on that, and Delhi's going to be completely different. Or even if it happens in Maharashtra, how much is Nokia going to come in use? Because Nokia really bowls fast, of course, but is that a threat big enough? I mean, if you're bowling to guys who have played only in the Indian Ranji circuit, yeah, it's probably a couple of clicks faster than they've played there. But 10 balls in, it's all the same. Kuldeep Yadav, I feel for 2 crores is a good buy. I would have
yeah,
actually wanted him to play under an MS Dhoni or Rohit Sharma because I will be really get a for Indian cricket too, something
yeah,
of that sort. But I mean, if he really gets going, the Delhi wicket is good enough for him. It's decently slow. So if
yeah,
he can get something going on there, even if he leaks some, I think it's okay. He just needs a couple of wickets under his belt. Shahrul Thakur, 10.75 crores, totally justifiable. Will come at probably number 8. He's Shahrul Thakur, I feel, as somebody who's listed in the bowlers category, is probably the best bowler that is can even hit other good bowlers out. He's done that
yeah,
in test matches. He's done that very often. Actually, in the IPL, he's failed. He's actually misfired more often than you would expect him to,
yeah,
but definitely has the ability. I mean, you're a few wickets down, you need someone to partner with your number 4 batsman. You're 6 wickets down, 7 wickets down. He's the best thing you can have. Mustafizur Rahman, I don't know how many games he's gonna get to play,
yeah,
but again, he has the ability. I mean, he can do it. Actually, it surprises me why he underperforms what he actually can. But I mean, he always manages to go way below what he should deserve. But then again, performances have been such. I don't know how much he's going to play because Knock is definitely going to go.
yeah.
Warner's going to play. I mean, Mitchell Marsh is definitely going to play. So it all boils down to who number 4 is going to be. So Mustafizur Rahman maybe a game or two, but I think for 2 crores, I think there will be no sad faces in that dugout.
True, true. I think Sanjay rightly mentioned how they have built a squad and how different it is, and that's exactly my point as well. But I would say one thing, in a funny way, you've heard about this place in Delhi called Sarojini Nagar, right? And Wasim Jafar also
Yeah,
tweeted that. It's like
yeah,
Delhi Capitals just went to Sarojini Nagars and had all the bargain buys. If you look at
yeah,
David Kohli for 6.5 crores, if you have told me yesterday night, I would have not believed it. We yesterday
absolutely.
discussed about David Warner, Mitchell Marsh being one of the biggest buys, and they were one of the stars. They were the two stars who led Australia to the World Cup triumph last year as well. So having them both in one squad is absolutely a great start for Delhi Capitals. They've definitely replaced Marcus Stoinis with Mitchell Marsh, so that's a good start. Shikhar Dhawan with David Warner, that's also a good start. So that's two boxes ticked right there. But now the challenge for Delhi Capitals is who's going to partner and with Nokia. They don't have an Avesh Khan, nor do they have now a Rabada. So the biggest problem now lies as to who's going to partner the likes of Anvik Nokia, whether the sustained amount of pressure can be kept. Like when you play against Delhi Capitals in the last couple of years, it was 12 overs of sustained pressure. You had an Avesh Khan, you had a Rabada, you had an Anvik Nokia, and 8 overs of good spin bowling as well from Ashwin and Aksar. So now you have Anvik Nokia and Aksar. So what about the other four? Kuldeep Yadav, he's still in that position where he's still getting back confidence. He's still not sure about his place in the 11. So all these things are there on Kuldeep Yadav. So tomorrow, I think with the purse they have, they will be definitely looking to get an overseas fast bowler to partner Anvik Nokia, and at the same time they'll also be looking for an Indian spinner who can also do well, just for the backup of Kuldeep Yadav, because Kuldeep Yadav is definitely a good bowler. I'm not sure how far they want to entrust on Kuldeep Yadav as to say you're going to get 14 games and we're going to give you complete confidence. That's where I felt Kuldeep Yadav, as Sanjeev rightly mentioned, Kuldeep Yadav in Chennai or a Mumbai would have been a different kettle of fish altogether. But right now in Delhi Capitals, they are a very shrewd franchise. They will definitely look for players who are going to perform consistently. And if you have a couple of bad games, the hammer is going to be on you, and you might have to definitely make way for someone else. That's why I felt from the last year, this year's their squad balance is so much different, and probably they could definitely build on these core players for the next few years. All are young players. You've got all young players around you, so that's the biggest positive they have as of now. But then the same they have some questions as well. Who's going to bat their middle order? Are you going to trust upon a Rishabh Pant? You are batting. Okay, where is Mitchell Marsh going to bat? Mitchell Marsh for Australia has done well at number three. Are you gonna give him that bonus to bat at number three? So who's gonna bat number five, number six? So these are some big questions they have to answer, and that's something where they will have to fill up. That's where they'll be looking to fill players as well tomorrow, and that's Sanjeev rightly mentioned about Shrikar Bharat. In my opinion as well, Shrikar Bharat should be starting. Shrikar Bharat is definitely a quality player. We have seen him do with RCB, and he did it against the same franchise, Delhi Capitals. If you remember that knock which he played and where he smashed Avesh Khan in the last ball six, it was against this very franchise, and that's where probably they would have got impressed by this guy. And he's got that temperament. He's a gutsy cricketer. He might not be the most talented batsman, but he's a very gutsy cricketer. He can clear the rope at will, and he's a terrific player of spin. So these are things which Shrikar Bharat brings into the fore for Delhi Capitals. So he's definitely a big tick mark on that front. But Indian batsmen now, they have very limited Indian quality batsmen left. So I'll be keenly watching on Delhi Capitals. Now already they have 3 overseas slots filled. So they have 1 overseas slot. Whether are they going to invest in a bowler or a middle order batsman? That's going to be the question for Delhi Capitals tomorrow. They have good amount of purse left. I'm expecting them to splash on a good overseas batsman and go on a couple of really good Indian bowlers, probably from under 19 cricket or wherever possible.
Yep. I think that's all for Delhi Capitals. And actually, we got a few questions here. So, whom should RCB buy tomorrow? If you can spotlight the questions, actually, able.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, how am I supposed to pronounce his name? AVK Madam X underscore Madam X. Firstly, thank you for the question, and I'll also come to the question where Shiv has asked about RR analysis. First, I'll come to this question of RCB and RR analysis. Probably Sanjeev can take it. RCB, as we mentioned before, they'll be looking to buy number 6 position and also an opener or a number 3 position, because if Virat opens, they'll be looking for the number 3 position. Who are the possible options left? You have probably a Vishnu Vinod left. I'm again going back to him. You have in under 19. If you're looking at under 19 cricket, you have someone like Yash Dul, whom you can actually impress, a solid player with a good technique. You can look for him. Raj Bava is there at number 3 or number 6. You can promote him anywhere. At number 6, they'll be looking at an all-rounder, Indian all-rounder. So tomorrow you're going to see a lot more Indian all-rounders coming into the fore who have done well in domestic cricket. For example, Jalat Saxena is a good all-rounder whom RCB can look for as well, because he offers with the ball and he's also a handy batsman. So he's another option who RCB will look to go after. Suresh Prabhudesai is one player who I think RCB will definitely buy. Suresh Prabhudesai, just looking at the way he has played for Goa and also considering his domestic circuit, he's got all the shots in the book.
He has been part of the setup in the past as well. Last year he was
in the past setup as well. And he can ball, he can offer with the ball. So I'm 100% sure tomorrow if one player RCB is going to buy, it's going to be Suresh Prabhudesai. And he's going to be an expensive buy for this reason that, other teams are also going to have him on the radar. because he's a hard hitter with the ball. He can also manipulate spinners pretty well, and he's got all the shots. He's a 360 player. So at number 6, RCB will be looking to bring in Suresh Prabhudesai. At number 3 is where they'll have a little bit of conundrum as to who they can invest upon for a long term, a good Indian domestic batsman. They could have probably gone for that Abhinav Sadrangani. He went for, I think, Lucknow franchise, if I'm not wrong. He went for good 2 crores, and he's from Karnataka. He has done decently well in domestic local cricket, and also in district matches, because he's a supremely talented player. Maybe age is definitely not on his side. Just 27, but I'm just saying that he's not a youngster like probably Devdutt Padikkal or someone. But I thought they would definitely go for him, but they did not. So that's why I feel RCB will be looking at an opener tomorrow. Definitely a opener. And I don't be surprised if they go for Krishnappa Gautam. Krishnappa Gautam is another player who RCB will be definitely targeting. Karnataka player. They've seen, he has never played for RCB, but then he can also offer you that all round option at number 6, alongside probably if they don't get Suresh Prabhudesai. And also other teams, similarly Chennai Super Kings also might go for Krishnappa Gautam, because he's already been part of the setup, and they're almost getting back all the players who were part of the setup from the last year. So RCB will have definite contenders from the other end for getting these players. And I feel Suresh Prabhudesai might go to Mumbai Indians as well, because he's in the Maharashtra circuit. He's played a lot of games for Reliance. So he is definitely under the scouting list of Kiran More and these guys who have watched him very closely. So I won't be surprised if Suresh Prabhudesai will be a bidding war between RCB and Mumbai for Suresh Prabhudesai, in my opinion. You can take a question on RR.
What was the question? Analysis on RR. Very interesting, Mr. Shiv Agarwal. I'd like to start by saying RR has had a couple of buys that I actually really wanted to see in Mumbai Indians. So
Yeah.
firstly, I'm pissed. Second of all, to name the players they've had, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is sorted. It is Yashasvi Jaiswal, Devdutt Padikkal, Hetmaya. I think they have Samson and Butler. Alright, if this is your top 5, I probably think that Jaiswal will miss, or maybe he has to go number 4, because Samson at number 3 fits perfect. Padikkal and Butler have to open. That is a very, very well optimized 1, 2, 3. Jaiswal number 4. Probably, if you want him to play and if he's willing to, and if you think you can get the best out of him at that. And Shimmer and Mara number 5, 8.5 crores, been pretty decent. The only problem I feel is they have about 12 crores left, and they have to have 7 players. But again, I mean, if that's a problem if they're really looking for 1 or maybe 2 really quality backups. But let's be fair, there's no such thing as a quality backup. If it's guy's a quality, he plays. If he's a backup, he's a backup. In terms of all-rounders, if you count Ashwin as an all-rounder, pretty decent. All right, great with the ball. You can't expect him to get you 9 runs an over, but then if you're 130 for 6 and 16 overs, he can get you to the 155, 160 mark. So I feel decent with the bat, great with the ball. I've been a fan of Ashwin for all the beating that. I mean, after not having the best last couple of seasons, he's able to keep his economy under 7 for an off spinner. That is really that just shows that what the man has done over the last 10, 12 years before the last couple of years. It is the way he has bowled is immense, and somewhere I think I'm pretty sure he's a thinking cricketer. He's itching to go. So Ashwin for 5 crores, we spoke in the morning about, is a very good buy. Riyan Parag has done a few good things for Rajasthan Royals, and it's very clear they are showing their trust on Riyan Parag. He's not this hard-hitting all-rounder, but to be honest, if you have Butler, if you have Samson, if you have Devdutt Padikkal, it's just fair to have somebody like a Riyan Parag down there who'll just keep the scoreboard ticking. You can't have a team that everybody's trying to hit the ball out of the park. Bowling, I would like to see Yuzvendra Chahal for 6.5 crores. Again, I'm pissed. Maybe 2 more bids would have got to Mumbai Indians. Trent Bolt, he is our first over bowler. You guys took him. I'm pissed. Prasidh Krishna, I think we spoke about Prasidh Krishna in the last couple of episodes that he, with his recent performance, like even Rohit Sharma said in the press conference, he's been able to extract good amount of bounce. He bowls at a good pace. Again, probably needs to put up a little bit of mass, maybe be a little easier for him, maybe a couple of kilos. KC Kariyappa, again, I'm not the biggest of fans, but then 30 lakh rupees is fair to have a spinner. So for 30 lakh rupees, it's a decent buy. But all in all, I think they have all bases covered. I don't see, I see no reason why they will fret coming to the auction tomorrow. They've had a couple of, I mean, Prasadh Krishna for 10 crores, maybe a little bit more. Trent Bolt though for 8 crores, more than decent. Maybe it nullifies Juzbin Chair for 6.5. They've spent what they should have spent anyways, just on different players, though what we expected
Yeah.
slightly different. But I think they have their bases covered. Maybe they'll go for, just maybe they will go for one hard hitting batsman in the middle, because that will be Riyan Parag and Ashwin, and then if Jaiswal bats down, maybe 4 and 5, 6, maybe a little 5, 6, 7, maybe a little slow. So maybe there'll be a change in batting order, which is almost unlikely to happen. So maybe one hard hitting batsman, maybe Indian. I thought they would go for Shah Rukh Khan much more than they
Yeah.
did, but I feel they've got their bases covered though. Just no faltering from the support staff and Sanju Samson. This team should not miss out on the qualifiers this time.
Yeah. I think
What do you
RR
think?
had one of the best days, right? On the
Yeah,
auction
Chahal.
day.
Yeah, actually, Chahal for 6.5 crores is
Yeah.
actually
Chahal and
a
Ashwin
good
for
deal. Yeah,
a cumulative 12 crores is a definite steal for any team. If you tell any
Absolutely.
owner a day before the auction, you're getting Chahal and Ashwin for a cumulative 12 crore, he will run for his life to even take it. Because that's how big these two assets can bring in. These both are thinking cricketers, very smart cricketers, and alongside a Shimran Hetmer, as you mentioned, in a finishing role. And you have and very surprisingly, guys, the Rajasthan's owner has come out saying that Devdutt Padikkal is going to bat at number 3. Now what? Devdutt
I,
Padikkal.
I I really don't. I really don't. Rajasthan have had a history of saying things and then not doing it. But Devdutt Padikkal at the top is, Yashasvi Jaiswal has been slightly susceptible to the ball moving around. If not
Yeah,
getting out, he's not able to score off it. Devdutt Padikkal, on the other hand, long levers, he comes with an intention of dominating the bowler, and his physique, his body also helps him a little more than maybe a Yashasvi Jaiswal does. In
hmm,
terms of hitting the ball out, much more capable and much in terms of execution, much better than Yashasvi Jaiswal. Probably this will happen for a couple of games, if at all, Mr. Rajasthan has said so, but I really don't see it going ahead. Or Yashish Jaiswal has just suddenly developed in the last 8 months, and he's ready to match Devdutt Padikkal's prowess at the top.
I'm also
yeah.
expecting Rajasthan to take this Malayali player called Sean Roger. He's a under 19 cricketer. He's an 18-year-old kid, and he's been in very close touch with Sanju Samson. So he's from Trivandrum, same place as where Sanju is from. He was part of the India under 19 setup as well. So I think Rajasthan will go for him. He's a wicketkeeper batsman. I think it's an all-rounder. I think, but expect him to be part of the Rajasthan Royals squad. Or if they don't, it's another thing. But yeah.
ABK
Mm.
Malmax has a question.
One. Okay, reason why RCB has gone behind Hasaranga in place of Chahal and Chahar. Hasaranga also keeps one overseas slot, and Chahal were more cheaper than Hasaranga. He's good, but Chahal is a proven player. A very good question. Something which we all had in our mind, right? Why did RCB not let go of Yuzvendra Chahal? I could only find one answer for that. RCB is looking at a different dimension in this auction. They're following a theory of a Chennai Super Kings and a Mumbai Indians where they're looking to bat deep. They're looking at batting options till at least
Don't
9.
you think they're trying to cut off the tail? Like they
Yeah, they
cut
were
off
trying
the
to cut off
tail
the
of play,
tail. The
like
moment they
which
had
best
two
game.
proper fast bowlers and Chahal, it was definitely going to hamper their choice of going ahead as well. So that's where I feel. That's where I feel. Chahal. That's where I feel they went for Hasaranga instead of Chahal, and probably they could have definitely cut short on that price on Hasaranga. They should have kept a cap. See, we're gonna go only on for this much for Hasaranga and this much for Chahal. But then they already splurged on Hasaranga. If Chahal would have come earlier than Hasaranga, then maybe we would have seen a different dynamics altogether. That's why we discuss about auction dynamics, right? Even tomorrow, which players come first, they're going to get the higher bids. And the players who come last, who might be really good, for example, Odean Smith, Romario Shepherd, these lads are absolutely done well in different leagues across the world, and these lads are one of the most marquee players everyone's looking out for. But then if these lads come later on in the auction, expect them to go for a very lower rate than what we actually are expecting them now at. So this is the only possible explanation I could come up with. And Hasaranga can bat
I'll
well, right? Hmm?
I'll just cut you short there, Abel. My
Yeah.
question to you is, Was the tail the problem for RCB? I felt the lack of bowling ability was RCB's problem. They should
No,
cut
if you look
number
at the
six.
last two
I would be.
seasons, if you look at the last two seasons, I'm just saying from last two seasons, right? I've been watching RCB very closely, but last two seasons, the problem with RCB was the batting. The inability to bat deep, inability to finish those, give those finishes. For example, what possibly could be a score from Mumbai Indians of 180, RCB was only able to score 150. That's where they were
Right.
lacking deep batsmen who could bat deep, who could bat till number 9, number 10. That's the only theory which I could come up with. Or else, the other possible option, Hasranga has done well. He's a player in form. He's dominated world cricket in the last 1 year. He can bat anywhere from number 5 to number 8, anywhere, because he's got that hard hitting ability. He's a live wire in the field and also a very thinking cricketer. His googly is not readable at all because he balls googly at an angle where it's very straight, right? And he releases it at a very low angle. And most of his balls are scramble seam. When you look at Chehel, I cannot say that Chehel is a bad bowler or something. What he brings is like a Rashid Khan kind of a mystery within a leg spinner, right? Where Rashid Khan's mystery is that you cannot read his googly. Same thing with Hasranga. They both have a scramble seam when they release their googly and the leg spin. So it's tougher for a batsman to play. And another thing which another special feature about Hasranga is almost 75 to 80% of his balls hit the stump. So most of the times, if you're going to miss him, you're going to get an LBW as well because he releases from a very his trajectory is very low. It's quicker through the air. He's probably 2-3 yards quicker than Chahal as well. So these are few things why I felt they might have gone for Hasranga. And he's a value for money player. 10.75. Maybe I feel he's 1 crore. Probably expensive, but other than that, definitely worth a player who's worth investing upon for any team. That's why I think Sunrisers Hyderabad also went behind him. Punjab wanted him. Many teams wanted him because of this reason that he brings that mystery factor and an all-rounder. All-rounders are worth their money in gold dust, in IPL or in any T20 format. So that's why I feel Hasranga is bought by RCB. You want to take that question, Sanjeet, about under 19 players?
I'll start by saying that I'm very very happy that Baby AB has come to Mumbai Indians. I'm a fan. Very
Yeah.
clean hitting. I was actually, but we spoke about it yesterday. I actually thought that maybe foreign under 19 cricketers might not fetch big bucks, and almost all of them would go unsold. Or even if
Yeah.
they get bought, maybe at their base price or 3 bids more than that. Not, I didn't believe anybody would reach the crore bracket. But Diwal Brevis, an exception, so I'm glad. I actually see Yash Dul getting a good amount. If this is what the standard is, if they feel that Diwal Brevis is somebody who can play in the IPL at the highest level, and people are willing to put money on it, a team like Mumbai Indians, I feel someone like a Yash Dul, in terms of capability, I find him at least at par with Deval Brevis, if not better than him. I could say Sheikh Rashid, but technically very sound. I don't. I mean, I really haven't seen that hitting ability from him.
Yeah. I think
Hangargekar,
Raj
I
Baba,
feel
Raj Baba and Hangargekar are two players I feel.
Raj Baba is something really looking out for. Vicky Oswal is something that I feel Mumbai Indians will want. Something like a
Mm.
Mumbai Indians they would want one more spinner. They have Murugan Ashwin for
Yeah.
now, but they always like this one person who can come in left-handed, slide a good off spin, and Vicky Oswal is also very accurate. So I feel they would go for someone like a Vicky Oswal. He might fetch good bucks.
Yeah.
And they have the purse. A couple of teams have the purse. Rajvardhan Hangargekar, a work in progress, but I can see a couple of teams wanting him. He can hit the ball. Some work with him with his batting, and his bowling is also pretty decent. Raj Baba, actually, I'm pretty excited. In
Yeah.
fact, even our wicket keeper, even Nishant for that matter,
Dinesh,
I
Dinesh
feel
Banna,
no,
right?
no,
Dinesh Banna.
No, not Dinesh. I'm talking about Nishant. Then I'll come to Dinesh.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I'll come
Yeah.
to Dinesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, even players like Nishant, they've shown this ability to hit good balls. So
Yeah.
I could actually see someone like a Rajasthan Royals, because they have this history of putting money for young talent. Someone like even Aradhya, but he didn't play this time, under 19 player. But I followed him closely. I've had the opportunity to play with a couple of these under 19 players many years ago. So, for example, the name which you took, Suyash Prabhu, he's actually played with him when for my under 14. I'm not sure if he remembers or no, but I mean, again, jealous. You said he might be picked for Mumbai Indians, and now I'm rethinking all my education-based decisions. But then,
Yeah.
yeah. Raj Baba, I feel will be a good pick. Vicky Ostwal might surprise many of us. Yash Dole also, I feel almost definitely. But yeah, these three names come to mind from Indian perspective. I'd named Rehan Ahmed yesterday. I feel English under 19 player, very accurate with his bowling. I think can be very lethal, and teams like Mumbai Indians need someone like that, some kind of spinner. I would actually go for Rehan Ahmed over even a Rashid Khan. So
Yeah.
someone for the pro English team. I mean, you can also rethink something of that sort. I mean,
Isn't that a
I
bit
can
too much? They didn't even
what?
get. Adil Rashid went unsold, and you expect Rehan Ahmed actually to go sold. I
They
actually
might,
don't
yeah,
think.
you might be
No, look at
surprised.
Yeah,
Rashid's base
maybe.
price. It was 2 crores, right? Rehan Ahmed could probably be a 20 lakh buy. So you're saving
Yeah,
1.8 lakhs on probably a spinner who's maybe as good as Adil Rashid. Because this guy can also bat, same like Adil Rashid. So it's the same commodity. Probably Adil Rashid brings more experience and more control, but this guy is worth investing upon as well. He can be
yeah,
good
and
overseas.
Rehan Ahmed saves about 8 runs every game in the field also.
Yeah.
Or looking at the other way, Rashid Khan gives 8 runs in the field anyway. So I mean, I think you'll balance the runs out. Wicket taking option, yes. Adil Rashid goes for a lot of runs very often, and I mean, I think it takes a lot of time to adjust to different kind of pitches. And for
Yeah.
somebody of that level, great in Test matches. Got Lokesh out for 199. That I feel is a great achievement for him, and that's it. Rehan Ahmed, I feel he might get some money if he comes out tomorrow. I think if he comes out tomorrow, if the teams have fulfilled that quota or they don't call out for players, I think that's
Yeah.
a different issue. But if he comes out and people and a couple of teams need him, then definitely I think he can good for a decent amount for his bracket and for what that kind of player can get.
Yep.
I think
Do you guys still
who has
feel Liam
interest
Livingston can
today's
make huge money?
auction. I think let's take that question, right? And for me, it's SRH. So if we can bring an SRH team, because we did not discuss on them, let's bring that team, SRH.
Actually, I have a question to you guys. Actually, do you guys still think Liam Livingston can fetch good money in the auction?
No, no.
I actually thought he might actually earn huge money, man. I mean,
I see him go to a team
Who are we
like
talking
Chennai.
about?
Liam Livingston, yeah, he's
I
to be
think, I think,
auctioned. I
I
guess
think,
he
I
might.
think, I see him go to a Chennai Super Kings kind of a franchise. Just considering what he can bring, Dhoni likes all rounders. He can ball both off spin and leg spin. He can bat anywhere as well. So Chennai Super Kings is going to be one team, and also Mumbai Indians. Maybe Mumbai
Yeah,
Indians will look to have the opening slot free for him.
the
So
team with
The
the
thing
purse
is,
strings.
Liam Livingston he has had some standard performances, but they have been in very different conditions, and they have come a very good performances followed by a string of low scores, and I don't think anybody's looking for it. I think his bowling will be very handy with the bowling though. I was actually shocked Adam Zampa went unsold because him with the white ball I feel is pretty lethal. But Liam Livingston actually was watching him in the PSL just maybe 2 days ago. Even he looks like a person who has good control on the ball, but again, hitting ability in his batting in India, whatever I have seen, he's more of a hit and miss player. I would actually put more money on someone like Glenn Phillips, for even maybe a different kind of player, but that is some kind of guy who I mean I would bet my money on over Liam Livingston.
yeah, same thing. I think Liam Livingston can be a volatile asset because he can either get you a lot of runs and a lot of wickets. At the same time, he might be an absolute flop. Last season with Rajasthan Royals, I felt he had a couple of really good shots. Other than that, the season in comparative or cumulative season wise, he had a very average season, a below par season. Now, who do you think will be the captain of RCB as without this step down? We all had a unanimous opinion that it could be Faf du Plessis, right? It could be Faf
Yes.
du Plessis, and
Yes,
Faf du
definitely.
Plessis is in the squad. Just considering his experience, he brings in a different kind of captaincy skills as well. He has done well for South Africa whenever he has led them. He's done well for his domestic franchise as well. So altogether, Faf du Plessis could be the captaincy candidate for RCB, but
Mine
could be just there for probably a couple of years, but not bad.
exactly. Exactly. My question is who's going to be the vice captain? I feel they're going to groom somebody, get him under fast swings and do something of that sort. I'm more excited to see who the vice captain is going to be. But I
Yeah,
feel at this point where the auction stands, I feel Faf du Plessis is the best man to lead the team. I don't see anybody else more qualified and more able than a Faf du Plessis.
correct.
Yeah, we were
Let's go
actually
to the
talking about
SRH team.
SRH team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we You're actually talking about that, and they've
We've
spent
completely done what we always do.
Yeah.
so they've spent 47.85 crores, and they have a purse left of 20.15 crores, and 13 players out of 25 filled, and 11 Indians and two overseas. So I guess this is a very decent team from what they have had last year, because and they have actually bought Nicholas Puran for astonishing price of 10.75 crores. Isn't that a bit too much for him?
No. Absolutely no. But just looking at the squad balance right now, SRH had the best day in the auction so far because look at the ballers they got. Umran Malik, they had retained him. Suchit, they've got him back. Shreyas Gopal, a terrific leg spinner, can bat a bit. Karthik Tyagi, who everybody expected to be a very big buy, young baller, got the pace, got the accuracy, defended at 4 runs over last season. Natarajan, an Indian bowler, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, they've again trusted back. Probably the only question mark will be on Bhuvneshwar Kumar as to whether he can be the leader of the pack or not. Other than that, the Indian core is absolute. They don't have to go for an overseas fast bowler. All what they can now invest is on a couple of really good all rounders from foreign countries, overseas all rounders who can do the job. If you look at Indian all rounders, they've got Abdul Samad who can hit the long ball, Abhishek Sharma who can bat anywhere. He's been opening for Punjab, and that's the greatest strength what this kid has got. And Washington Sundar, he can ball in the power play, and at the same time nowadays he's also balling towards the latter part of the innings. So that's another advantage. And he can also bat at number 7, number 8, give you good 25, 30 runs every now and then. And Nicholas Puran, who can keep wickets and bat anywhere as well. And they have Rahul Tripathi, who had a terrific season with KKR. This looks like a
Exactly.
well-rounded squad. This looks like a squad which has been, they're planned for this squad. They put in so much of tactical nuances to pick this squad. It's not a squad which everybody could predict. But if you really analyze the squad, look at what Rahul Tripathi can give you. Rahul Tripathi can give you a 350 run season. Kane Williamson can give you a 300, 400 run season on an average. I'm just giving you on an average. On a very good season, Kane Williamson can give you 600 run season. On average, Kane Williamson can give you 350 run. Rahul Tripathi a 300 run season. Nicholas Puran can win you at least 2 games a season. Umran Malik alongside Karthik Tyagi and also with someone like Sri Natarajan can close the innings. At death, these lads are going to be absolute gun. It's going to be very tough to score against these lads just because of the pace they've got in their bowling artillery and also the variety. The only department they probably lack is spin bowling. Maybe they don't have a very experienced spinner. They have Washington on the and Shreyas Gopal, but they don't have a Rashid Khan kind of a bowler where they had a 4 overs bank. Where teams used to be like, let's play this guy out and let's focus on the other 16 overs. So that's the only place where I think they're lacking from the previous season. But otherwise, if they go on to buy a couple of other all rounders tomorrow, this team is a definite top 4 contender on the paper at least.
Yeah, this team actually looks a bit balanced, and you can see that they have a lot of purse left to buy more players rather than looking at the other teams who have actually had like very few buys and very few like less money in their purse. So
Yeah.
this team can actually move forward by buying more spinners. I guess they can go for a quality spinner because I don't see them having a really quality spinner actually providing yeah, like seeing from last year they had Rashid Khan, and who's going to take that role up?
I
Sanjay, you can
feel, I feel Shreyas Gopal for 75 lakhs blows my brain out. If he bowls like the way he bowled last season, that guy, he's not a Rashid Khan, but his performance was similar to what the Rashid Khan was giving. In fact, Rashid Khan lost a super over, and Shreyas Gopal still has it. So I feel 75 lakhs, Shreyas Gopal. I was just wondering why Mumbai Indians weren't running for someone of that sort. But again, I still feel they would still like one more spinner in the bank. They will spend money on a spinner, but they will have how many good spinners are left is my question. And there are still, apart from the Mumbai Indians is hungry for a spinner, they will have some competition for a 1 or 2 spin bowlers. I think someone like a Shakib Al Hasan will fit like just right in this. Shreyas
yeah.
Gopal gives you the leg spin, but of course Washington Sundar is good with the bat. Abhishek Sharma has been very decent. I think he'll bat up the order more often. Nicholas Puran, as I said, will win you 2 games. But it is Priyam Garg has been a question. He is of course very high on ability. Rahul Tripathi, Kane Williamson will open. Kane Williamson can play the anchor kind of role. He can also play that really good batsman kind of role, and we all know he's had an 800 run season, he's had a 600 run season, he's had two 600 run seasons.
Yeah.
So in terms of performances, Kane Williamson is probably the only sad thing for Williamson was Kohli scored 971 runs in that season, or else that season would have been remembered by what Kane Williamson did. So I feel really special. I think someone like a Shakib Al Hasan will fit right into this
Yeah.
though. He can be the right balance between a Williamson and a Nicholas Puran.
Yeah.
But again, how long term are they looking? And I think they can do with one more batsman too, just to have someone else, because Nicholas Puran will misfire. All right,
Yeah.
Priyam Garg might not get those good runs. Shakib Al Hasan has to be a number six.
Yeah.
So it is maybe Abhishek Sharma or someone. I mean, have to take up that role, but I think they will spend money on one more batsman. I love
Mm.
Umran Malik. Great bowling. Natarajan is very decent. Bhuvneshwar Kumar isn't the bowler he used to be, but in no means a bad bowler.
Yeah.
So definitely a Karthik Tyagi under Bhuvneshwar Kumar's wings. I think in another 2 years is going to be. I mean, for 4 crores you get Karthik Tyagi, and if he becomes what we all believe he will become, splendid. Jagdish Suja for 20 lakhs is practically. He doesn't get hit very often. I should say this. It's easy to get singles out of him,
Yeah.
but I
He can
mean,
bat
people
as well.
haven't. Yeah,
Yeah, he can bat.
people haven't really taken him for that 45 and 50 runs. In his 4 overs, that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So Jagdish, I mean, pretty decent. But I feel this team also has their bases covered. I mean, maybe just two more buys. I feel two more buys will do the trick. Someone like a Shakib Al Hasan and one more batsman.
I think they might
Probably,
get
I mean,
Liam Livingston or probably even Tim David in that finishing role, because now they have enough
I would.
players, enough money to even go for overseas batting slots. Now, the
They
good
only
thing
have
was
two
that
overseas
Livingston,
players at the moment. I think they have Nicholas Puran and they
I think
have
they have only two overseas
Kane
slots. I
Williamson.
mean,
Right.
two
They have
players. Yeah.
Williamson and Nicholas Puran.
they
Both
just
of
have
them
two
which will
overseas
play.
slots they've actually taken. So they have six overseas slots left, five
Six
overseas
slots left.
slots left.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and now they have enough players to actually invest in the batting. The last year, what their mistake was that they had an overseas spinner. So what happened was also had two overseas openers. So they couldn't invest any overseas players in the middle order. But this time, what they've done in order to counter that and in order to counter their mistakes, what they've done is they've invested in Indian bowling code, which has always been the strength of SRS. If you look at the
Absolutely.
2018 season where they went to the final, it was just on the Indian overseas bowling code. So they had Sandeep
Absolutely.
Sharma, they had Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who were all chipping in at some stage or the other. So that's where I feel, Sunrisers Hyderabad's traditional strength has been the Indian bowling core, and that's what they've stuck on to this time as well. The only area, as we all discussed, is Indian spin bowling options, but Shreyas Gopal and Washington Sundar and Suchit, if they all can chip in, they can probably cover that as well. And now talking about Abhishek Sharma also can bowl. So right now they have close to 24 overs. When they step onto the field, they have 24 overs in their bank. All what they have to do look on to now is look for a Tim David, look on to a Liam Livingston, or look on to a strong finisher who can also offer a little bit with the ball. So if you cover all that, this looks like a well-rounded setup. They have enough money in the bank as well to splash it tomorrow, and expect them to get some big buys according to tomorrow's standards. And don't be surprised if they are rated as one of the best teams after the auction, just because of the buys they made today. Tactically, I'll give them a 10, and they've been the only 10 on 10 team today.
Yep. Actually, what do you guys think on Lucknow Super Giants? They spent 52 crores at the auction, 6.9 crores left, and 11 players they managed to fill, 7 Indian and 4 overseas. I mean, they've had a good day at the auction, but the purse left is actually quite a concern. To fill another 14 players if they would like to, or a minimum of 7 players if they have to fill. Uh, and they got Manish Pandey, they got KL Rahul, they got Quinton de Kock, Ravi Bishnoi, Ankit Rajput, Avesh Khan, Mark Wood, Marcus Stoinis, Deepak Huda, Krunal Pandya, Jason Holder. So this team has got this balance, somewhat of a balance. Every like you see these all rounders, like mostly all will play. I'm pretty sure that the all rounders that they've got today, mostly all of them will play. Deepak Huda, Krunal Pandya, Jason Holder. These guys are all sure starters. And you got Marcus Stoinis as well, who can bat up the order and come in the middle order as well. And
Hmm.
uh, and Mark Wood, he can be the quality pacer that they want, or they might just go for another pacer. But with the purse that they have, I don't think so. They're gonna get another good pacer. And and they got two keepers, KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock, and that would be their opening stand that they would have, KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock. I guess that will be a better one than what KL had in Punjab. This team. What do you guys think of that?
Oh no. I'm a big Rahul Agarwal fan. I feel Agarwal very underrated with the way he has played with
Yeah.
KL Rahul. Even out for a couple of games, but Agarwal last couple of seasons for me, Mayank Agarwal has been one among the top three
No,
openers
I'm,
for sure.
I'm actually not mentioning about the opening stand, but mostly about the team that they had actually in Punjab, like on his
Oh,
captaincy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And now
Very
I'm
true.
actually have a bone to pick with them because their spending has been a little bit irresponsible. They have
Mhm.
to have seven more players and they have less than 7 crores left. So they have to make do with what they have. So I see this team going for a couple of under 19 players. But what do they need? Their opening is sorted, probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Lokesh Rahul and Quinton de Kock, that's like 65 runs in the power play in 7 out of the 14 games, 18 games actually, 9 out of the 18 games they're going to play. Manish Pandey, a great number 3, no problem whatsoever. Now they have Marcus Stoinis, Jason Holder, and Krunal Pandey. I feel Krunal Pandey and Deepak Huda. I would love to see bold Huda caught Pandey and clapping hands. I'm waiting for that to happen if it is a possibility. Marcus Stone is probably number 4 for me. He's been hitting well. He's done that. If even if he fails, Jason Holder comes behind a Kunal Pandya. This is similar to that Mumbai Indians 5-6-7. Of
Yeah.
course, I'm not comparing a Pollard to a Holder or a Pollard to a
They have
Marcus
a
Stoinis
Manish
because
Pandey as well. Manish Pandey as well. They
Manish
have a
Pandey I
Manish.
feel would be he's a great number 3. I feel
He can
really
anchor the innings very well
yeah
actually.
So let's
he should
decode the 11, right? Let's decode the 11. Openers: KL Rahul, Quinton de Kock. At three,
no
Manish
brainer.
Pandey. You think at four it's going to be Marcus Stoinis or
Yeah,
I
Deepak?
don't see any don't see anybody else fitting in at 4 actually. It has to be him.
So they have a Krunal Pandya, they have a Jason Holder, they have a okay, they have Huda, Krunal Pandya, Jason Holder, Marcus Stoinis. So they have close to probably 16 overs right there. Then they have spin ballers like Ravi Bishnoi, Avesh Khan, and Mark Wood. This looks like a proper team.
Ravi Bishnoi is I'm already a fan of his spin. Very flat. He bowls a quick leg spin,
Yeah.
and it's very tricky when one of the balls spins sharply and sometimes just even a little bit more than it's expected.
Hmm.
His googly is readable, but if you don't have Rohit Sharma's timing, it can get difficult for you. Mark Wood, I feel a great buy. They somewhere I think they will still want to go for a fast bowler. Ankit Rajput, I feel, will get hit.
They have
Avesh
Avesh
Khan
Khan.
has done wonderfully in the last season.
Yeah.
So they have their number 10 and number 11 sorted. Number
Yeah.
9 also, Ravi Bishnoi. These three are a sure shot. Krunal
Number
Pandey,
8
I
is
feel, can be
Holder.
the number 4
Number
because
8 is going to
he
be
has
Holder.
done that for Mumbai Indians and they've thought that he can do that role for them. If Krunal
Yeah.
Pandey is the number 4, then Stone is number 5, Holder number 6. Definitely.
Deepak
So
Huda
I
number
feel
7.
Deepak Huda, I think these are the 11 players they have. So Deepak Huda has to go number 7. I think Kunal Pandey and Deepak Huda can replace number 4 and number 7 because it really
I think
depends on where the
they
team is
should
at.
have that flexibility in that order actually.
Yeah,
The middle order, they
I
should have
think
that
They
flexibility.
look
I
like
think
in
they
high
are
nation
number
as well.
they're number 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6. It is what it is. Number 4 and 7 will be either Huda or either Kunal Pandya, depending
Yeah.
on the relationship. They try to keep them as far as they can. Also, if it doesn't turn out to be a Harbhajan and Simons kind of situation with Mumbai Indians, they're going to
Yeah.
be as far apart as possible. But again, I will say they're slightly irresponsible with their buying, and a couple of teams have taken the mickey out of them. They have to have 7 more players. So a couple of under 19 buys, maybe someone like a Yash Dul maybe fits here. He can be a good number 4 because bowling is not a constraint as to what I can see. They all outright have 8 bowlers here, 4
They have
all-rounders
nine
and
ballers.
4 bowlers. So
No, they have actually 9 ballers. No, 8 ballers, correct. 8 ballers.
yeah,
Eight.
so the outright have 8 bowlers, and everybody and all of these 8 people, they are none of them is a part timer. Like
Yeah.
everybody bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody, almost always, except Deepak Huda, almost all of them always bowl out their 4 overs. So
Yeah.
bowling is not a problem. So I can see for them going for someone like a Yash Dul who can bat number 4, and one of Huda or Pandey will have to sit. Depends on the game, but they can go for their one batsman, and also to be honest, that's all they will be able to afford going
Hmm.
into
They have
games. I mean,
Actually, one thing that pulls me back on giving this team a 10 on 10 is their irresponsible spending and the purse that they have left for the
Mm.
rest of the players. That's the only thing that's pulling me back. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, true.
I
Absolutely. Absolutely.
there's no storiness initially for the first couple of games.
Mm.
Who else misses out? Does I mean
I
I
think
think he
Quinton de
is.
Kock is out.
Yeah. So I mean they have their keeper sorted, so they will need someone to open with Rahul initially. They will need an all rounder to be honest. I mean Huda and Pranal Pandey can both play, but yeah, I think they will. I don't know. I feel they have all bases covered, but it is imperative. KL Rahul will not give you 650 runs in every season. That's
Mm.
for sure, right?
Mm.
Quinton de Kock will great in the power play. All right. Again, I mean, after that he tends to slow down. The only problem I see is if KL Rahul goes for a duck and Quinton de Kock scores three and gets out, will and when Marcus Stoinis builds up and takes the team at about 6 and 0 and they are 120 for three in 15 overs, will
Mm.
Deepak Huda and Jason Holder step up and give those 70 runs in 5 overs like a Pollard did? Do
Mm.
Krunal Pandey or Quinton de Kock have that kind of a cushion that they did in their previous team that you have Hardik Pandey and Pollard yet to come and so like you can't have a spinner bowling and something of that sort. This team just lacks that. So the day KL Rahul doesn't fire, KL Rahul of course KL Rahul has been out of the world in the IPL.
Yeah.
He's able to hit any bowler. He takes Rashid Khan out for fun. But the day he gets out, does this team have people who will scare the opposition? I feel not. That they lack that slight thing of intimidating the opposition at the moment. Avesh
Yeah.
Khan, you could say that bowlers the bowling is really ticking the boxes, but I feel you play Bishnoi out. I don't know. My instinct tells me Avesh Khan is not going to have the best of IPLs this year for him. Hopefully he does well, but I don't know. Something this team does not have. Markwood is a wonderful bowler, but how much is he as scary as when Rabada is running into you? No, I don't think so. So
Yeah.
I feel they just lack that intimidating factor. Second, you get Lokesh Rahul's wicket. I feel teams will start getting into them. So that's one thing, but I think they have their bases covered. If they mentally get done, I mean, and this is the team. This is the team to beat.
Yeah, I think on a good day, this team can score 220, and on a bad day, they can collapse to
Oh,
110. Similar thing as
definitely.
we did speak about Punjab Kings previously as well, in the previous seasons, right? Because they have that thing, they have all the players who look intimidating, but then can they finish it off well for them? But then the good part is they have someone like Marcus Stoinis who can give that, impetus and giving those finishes. We've often seen Marcus Stoinis do that for Delhi, for Melbourne Stars, but it's also going to be upon them where he's going to be used. But in different teams, he plays at different roles. For Australia, he plays in the finishing role, but for Melbourne Stars, he plays up top, and for Delhi, he played in the middle order as well. And I see a similar role for him here as well. But I'm really hoping that KL Rahul plays like the Rahul he is without captaincy. The fearless
Totally.
Rahul can go out there, take down oppositions. Once he starts doing that, then this team is certainly going to be a contender for the title and also a team to beat, as Sanjay rightly mentioned, because this team has got all the bases covered on the paper right now. They've got the perfect starting 11. They got probably how many overs? They got close to 40 overs in the bank as they step on the field. Not many teams are lucky, dude. Not many teams are probably lucky to have that kind of a bank, and that's where this team actually stands out. And I'll be keenly watching out on how they go about it in the season, because it's also about how the starts they get, right? Because they're a new team, so they'll be desperately looking for the starts, because an experienced team who has already spent time out there knows how to come back. Mumbai Indians know that they've been there, they've done that. So even if they lose a couple of matches, if they lose four matches on a trot, they know how to come back. Chennai Super Kings also has got that thing in them. But Lucknow Super Giants it's their first season as a team. They're going to step on the park. So if they lose the first couple of matches, or if they're going to lose a couple of matches on a trot, and it's going to really test their character, it's really going to test KL Rahul as a captain. As of now, we've not really seen KL Rahul come out of those kind of situations. He's been criticized for this very fact that he doesn't have that firepower or that instinctive decision making skill, which motivates the players, which charts up the players. Say, okay, boys, let's do this. Let's get back on track. We've done this. We've been here, and that's something which he does not have as a in his captaincy record book. Nor has he done it in recent past. So these things do speak against Lucknow Super Giants. But this team is just looking like an RPS shape blueprint kind of a team. They always go for this
Hmm.
big buy, splash on them. We've seen them do this with Atletico Kolkata Mohan Bagan, because that's something which they always have done in ISL as well. ATKMB has been this team who goes for all the big players. That's because the owner is RPSG Group. The same man was at the helms even today. So he's done the same philosophy. He's gone with the same philosophy. Let's go after the players. Let's get the players we want. Then we'll think about the fillers later on. So it's the same thing what he has done today. Overall, a good day at the auction for them.
Yep. You guys want to keep continuing or
Yeah, let's go to another team. We yet to cover Gujarat Titans. We yet to cover
yes,
Punjab
did
Kings.
we cover Punjab Kings? Okay, let's go to Punjab Kings. So
Mumbai
they've
Indians
spent
is yet to be covered.
I'm
so
So
waiting.
let's
so
go for Mumbai Indians.
okay, let's go to Mumbai Indians. So Mumbai Indians have spent 20.15 crores in the auction. You know who they have spent 15 in that, and purse left is 27.85, and 8 out of 20, 25 players is filled, and 6 Indians and 2 overseas slots. Rohit Sharma, Suryakumar Yadav, Deval Brevis. That's a good pick. Ishan Kishan, Jasprit Bumrah, Murugan Ashwin, Basil Thampi, Kieron Pollard. So, anything that surprises you other than Ishan Kishan going for 15 crore? I don't think so. That was a big surprise for us because we actually mentioned it yesterday. Ishan Kishan going
So
for
today in
15
the
crore.
afternoon, just before Ishan Kishan came on, we had the discussion as to whether Mumbai will, how much can Mumbai spend, and what will be the cap they'll be putting on Ishan Kishan. They just went all out for him. That's what I would say. Sanjit, you can take over from there.
100%. I mean, but somewhere at the back of my mind, it is very imperative that with so they thought that you either get two players for about the 19-20 crores with maybe
Yeah.
10 each, but they had to choose that if one of them goes for a higher amount, you have to let the other person go, and they chose Ishan Kishan. They said, might as well let this guy come on because he was named number 4, I guess, when the wicket keepers list came on, and teams were waiting to have him. I feel Mumbai Indians didn't even really get involved in the first couple of bids because they knew that they will have to spend good amount of money when Ishan Kishan comes on. So I feel 15.25 crores is good for him. This is like I feel this is a 3 season. This is something to do with a 3 season contract kind of. We'll give you 2 seasons, 3 seasons. We trust you, but like, you can let season 1 go, do something in season 2, break season 3, and then we're good. If that doesn't happen, and then if they leave, let him go. That's about 15 crores in the bank again to rebuild, to get maybe 2 players in and something of that sort. Very excited for Rohit Sharma to open with, which I see if they've prepared 3 crores for an international under 19 player, I think he will play. Something similar to Marco Janssen. I feel if they've taken him, a guy's going to play. Suryakumar Yadav at the moment, best number 3. Definitely with Manish Pandey, but Manish Pandey plus results. Suryakumar Yadav plays spin bowling absolutely wonderfully. Not scared of any bowler. Like you may be intimidating, but you bowl the ball outside off stump, you are gonna go for 4. He is that kind of a person. I'm practically in love with Suryakumar Yadav. Ishan Kishan probably number 4. I
I
feel
think
I
Ishan
feel that's
Kishan will
where
open with Rohit.
if
He
he opens,
averages
then I don't see
55 while opening. No?
Deval Brevis playing. I think a lot will depend on a couple of buys that they will have tomorrow. Because if they're not able to rope in a good middle order batsman, then I feel Ishan Kishan has to go number 4, or he goes number 3. Or I think I'll be very surprised if Rohit Sharma decides to go back down at number 4 and Brevis and Kishan open again.
No,
That'll
that
be
won't
very
happen.
bad. That's gonna
That
hamper him.
that will that will be very bad. But in all honesty, the guy still got you 3 cups from number 4 and scoring 300 runs a season. So
Yeah.
Karen Pollard, no complaints again. It continues to baffle me that Pollard went for about 6 crores the first time he came into the auction, and after hitting 84 in 30 balls against the Chennai Super Kings, continues to go at 6 crores. He would have broken the shackles in the auction,
Yeah.
100%. But somewhere around it is Mumbai Indians. I mean, Mumbai Indians gave him that chance. It's a very famous story with Bravo asking them to get Pollard, and they gave Pollard much more than what he thought he deserved, and much more than what he thought he could get anywhere. And they gave
Yeah.
him that chance. And I feel maybe a Bumrah or a Surya Kumar Yadav would never agree to that kind of price because they would know they would go for much more. So does Pollard, but somewhere in his heart, maybe he has a place for Mumbai Indians, and he's valued immensely in that team. So the best number five in T20 cricket of all time, and again he goes for 6 crores for a team day in and day out. That is, it's something very emotional for me. Jasprit Bumrah again, great bowler. They have to break the bank for another fast bowler though. Basil Thampi, I don't think will do the job. As much as I love him, I feel needs immense work to. He needs a lot of work to be done. Murugan Ashwin's been pretty decent. I always wonder why he doesn't get hit more than what I feel he should be getting hit for. But I feel he's a pretty decent bowler, but cannot be your marquee spinner. I mean, I genuinely feel you need. They will break the bank for one more bowler, a fast bowler with Jasprit Bumrah. I thought they would go for someone like a Lockie Ferguson or maybe even Trent Bolt again, but they didn't. Murugan Ashwin, I feel, is okay. Basil Thampi is decent. I don't see him playing a lot of matches,
Yeah,
but a lot of work to be done for them. They have their core. This is what gets the runs. Their think tank is in place. Their captain,
yeah,
vice captain have been there since the longest time. Surya Kumar Yadav, a consistent performer.
yeah,
Some surprise in terms of, I mean, it's some surprise in terms of Dewal Brevis, but the fact that they've given him that 3 crores for practically the 9 matches that he's played in the under 19, I feel
yeah,
I feel you will see him, or probably maybe he shifts down to number four and they see what he can do there, and he will get chances. I'm just hoping I don't have to see them lose the first 4 games or win just one of the first 5 games this season. They get to play in the stadium they've always played in, but
yeah,
I'm afraid and extremely saddened to say that this team looks slightly. It's not the Mumbai Indians. I know this is
yeah,
not this is not the team that. I mean, like you said yesterday, Mumbai Indians number 1 to number 11. Everybody has it in the heart. The people supporting them and the people whose teams are playing against Mumbai Indians. You know what 11 they're going to play. As simple
yeah,
as that. Only with Chennai Super Kings, because of the left-handers, maybe a Jayant Yadav comes in every now and then and Kunal Pandya sits, but otherwise, no. This time I'm finding it slightly different, but well, the team is a team of champions, so I'm pretty sure they'll find their way out. They have the money. They have about 29 crores, but again, I'm a couple of big buys for them tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be Mumbai Indians day at the auction. That is what is my prediction. But one fast bowler, one spinner definitely, and one backup keeper.
Yep. Is Jayant Yadav sold? Is he sold?
Jayant Yadav is not yet sold, so I think
No,
he's
no, no,
definitely.
no, no, no.
And I guess it's just he's just gonna go back to Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, I have a
I'm
feeling.
hoping so.
I have a feeling. Sanjay, you want to take that question? Danny Daniels as cheerleader.
I mean, who? Danny who?
Danny Daniels.
The left arm orthodox.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's a player from South
Not a
Africa.
fan. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Daniel Sams, I think of that of that category kind of a player. Maybe looking at we're definitely gonna see if they can definitely get them very soon or something. So having said that, let's go to the next team, Gujarat Titans.
Yes, Gujarat. Yep, they have spent 33.15 crores at the auction, 18.85 crores left, and total of 10 players filled in, 6 Indians and 4 overseas slots. Usually, we haven't seen much overseas slots filled in when there's only 10 players, in the list. But Gujarat Titans have managed to do that. Yeah, they've got Shubman Gill, they got Abhinav Manohar, they got Jason Roy, Rashid Khan, Sai Kishore, Noor Ahmed, Lockie Ferguson, Mohammad Shami, Hardik Pandya, Rahul Tewatia. Rahul Tewatia for 9 crores. Is that reasonable? I don't feel
Mega expensive. Mega
it's
expensive as far
really
as I am considered. Not a 9 crore player. Not for me.
Now, this team looks imbalanced to me because of many reasons. If you look at, you have a Shubman Gill, Jason Roy. Jason Roy is yet to prove in India. You have seen his struggles with his quality leg spinners, and also if you are putting good spinners against him, he's always been a candidate who struggles. So that's where he might be found out. And Abhinav Manohar, I don't expect him to start. He's definitely going to be a bench warmer, but spending 2.6 for him, I have my doubts again. And Rahul Tewatia, is he going to be a finisher alongside Hardik Pandya? More likely, it looks like the places where they lack middle order batting. They don't have any middle order batting, and they have 18 crores left. Who are they going to play in middle order? They have Hardik Pandya, Rahul Tewatia. Then you have all the bowlers: Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed, Lockie Ferguson, Mohammad Shami, and Shubman Gill is definitely going to open with Jason Roy. It's not like Shubman Gill is going to come at number 5 or number 4. So this looks like a huge hole, which when you compare the both new teams, this team looks like they have to do a complete shopping spree tomorrow where they can get a lot of middle order batsmen who they actually can accommodate. I'm sure Rashid Khan is a sure starter. Jason Roy is a sure starter. So, which means two of the overseas spots are already filled alongside Lockie Ferguson. So, they have one overseas spot which is left, which is for a batsman in the playing 11, which I believe they'll probably go for a good overseas batsman. Again, I'm going to bring in a player like Liam Livingston, who can probably be the middle order spot player. And also alongside him could be a Tim David, who also this team will be looking at. I'm sure, these players are up for the grabs tomorrow. And I'm sure someone like Gujarat Titans, having seen how they've operated so far today, I think they might go for a big buy tomorrow just to fill in that middle order hole. Other than that, this team looks imbalanced to me so far. They've spent quite hefty on a player like Lockie Ferguson and also for a player like Rahul Tewatia. If you look at Lockie Ferguson, he has done decently well. He's definitely a good fast bowler who has done well for KKR in the last couple of seasons. But then does he have the death bowling ability? He doesn't have the death bowling ability. He struggles in death. If you look at his death bowling run rate, he goes almost close to 9 to 10. He goes almost close to 8.5 to 9 and over. That's not a good death bowling rate at all. And if you look at is he going to be fit for the 14 games to 16 games a season? No, he's definitely not going to be fit for 4 to 16 games a season because he's been a candidate for injuries throughout the last 5 to 6 years. That's where he might be a wrong investment, and they could be proven wrong. They could be proven wrong in that, like he is a good investment or not. So that could backfire for them. Lockie Ferguson is a major hole they'll have to fill. If they don't get the Lockie Ferguson at the start of the season, they might have to go for a backup. So they might have to get a backup for Lockie Ferguson. They'll have to get a middle order batsman and also a backup for him. Right now, they have three openers. They have Abhinav Manohar, Shubman Gill, and Jason Roy. All three cannot bat anywhere in the middle order. So there's a major hole for them. I'm expecting Hardik Pandya to bat at number 6 or number 5, but Rahul Tewatia at number 7. So they
Yeah,
have number 6 position to fill, number 4, number 5 position to fill. So they have a lot of chunks in the armory. They have to fill all of those. Only then I can expect them to be a contender or a team which is well rounded, a proper squad with balance. What do you think, Sanjit, about that?
I mean, again, I feel I actually don't know what has influenced their decisions the way they have gone. Shubman Gill, Jason Roy, definitely no brainer. Number one, number two. Abhinav Sadarangani, I feel now the fact that so many teams have gone for him, I feel, of course, a very good player by all means, but if at all he doesn't perform, like there is currently no backup for him. Hardik Pandya, great, but Hardik Pandya is the lesser he plays, the lesser deliveries he plays, the better it is for him. He had that cushion with Mumbai Indians, and when he failed, he had the cushion of a Karen Pollard coming behind him. So I just don't know how comfortable Hardik Pandya will be. Players like him, you want them to be in their comfort zone, be in his element, so he can come out, do what he does. And if he fails, he's always been that kind of a person that who's been in a team that really supports him. But now I feel the kind of team that he's making, if at all he has some kind of influence on the decisions that the management is making, Rahul Tewatia for 9 crores, that's not even like twice of what I expected him to be. It's somewhere around 2 or 2.5, 3 is justifiable for Rahul Tewatia, especially in this team. Not very much. Bowling, although I am a little jealous. Rashid Khan was a splendid 4 overs. Mohammad Shami is going to be great. Lockie Ferguson, yeah. But then again, I spoke about intimidating a couple of batsmen. He gets that pace right into their faces. That's a good 12 overs.
Yeah.
Noor Ahmed, still very early for me to comment. I mean,
I think
I,
Rashid Khan has to do a lot with his buy because he's an Afghanistan player. Maybe he might be groomed alongside Rashid.
17-year-old.
but Rashid Khan is also going to be the reason Noor Ahmed is going to sit out. Or else
Yeah.
Noor Ahmed has to play and Rashid Khan will have to sit out. Lockie Ferguson for me definitely plays. Even they paid that kind of amount for him. Rashid Khan's an outright. Let's see who the player is going to be. Number one, number two is fixed. Let's assume Abhinav Sadarangani plays number 3. Hardik Pandya, maybe number 5.
Can they
Who is the
actually
number
go to
4?
Shubman at 3? Shubman at 3, will it work?
No, I don't think so. When you retain somebody who's done particularly well at a certain position,
Yeah,
No, I don't think so. But they will need two batsmen
yeah,
easily, at least two batsmen, so that they can
yeah,
have some sort of doing with their team. They have about 18 crores left. They have to give someone 6 to 7 crores for somebody who can really do something with the bat.
mm,
But this is in fact Shuman Gill. He has played a good amount of cricket now, but still slightly inexperienced. He's been very decent. I won't call him inexperienced, but still very early in his career. Jason Roy, the ball spins into him or spins out. He had his troubles. He always has. Abhinav Sadrangani has a point to prove. So that 1, 2, 3, there is no top four. I mean, except Shubman Gill and Jason Roy, even including them, it is a slightly shaky top four for me. Shubman
yeah,
Gill is more of an investment than somebody who's going to give you the runs. Maybe two more seasons from now, he's going
yeah,
to be the short man, or the guy who bats 18 overs through. But at the moment, he's still an investment. Jason Roy has had his troubles. You can see 2 crores a price. So if a man has no flaws, then that's not the price he will fetch to an auction. Abhinav
yeah,
Sadrangani a lot to prove. I'm not sure how much he's going to play if they get two good batsmen tomorrow. This team can go for someone like an Ajinkya Rane, I feel, at this
yeah,
point, who has
yeah,
played good amount of cricket, will play spin well. If it,
Agree as
the
well.
only problem is if all the matches don't happen in Maharashtra, and like next season onwards, for example, they go back to the Narendra Modi Stadium, I feel that's a different wicket. And then this team is not. Teams have, like, for example, Chennai, Mumbai. They build teams 50% on the kind of the way they want to play and 50% to how their home conditions are. This
absolutely.
team is not like that. I don't know. I really feel there is some sort of wrong thought. With this team, I feel Hardik Pandya is going to call Neeta Ambani after the season and say, like, boss, you drafted me back. I'm not made for this. This is
Yeah,
this seems like a very juvenile decision making, at least as far as I'm concerned. There is no batting for this team. I'll be as blatant as that. The batting starts at number 5 and the batting ends at number 5, and that is Hardik Pandya. That is it. Shubman Gill is very decent. So I'll say there are two batsmen who I can expect very decent performances from a little more consistently. You need five batsmen. You have to break the bank for three batsmen, and they will struggle. They will struggle tomorrow. They have to get someone like Ajinkya Rane, maybe particularly him, and two people who can hit the ball, who get set and then who can hit the ball, and then Hardik Pandya comes after that. This team doesn't look very promising to me.
Okay,
right,
let's
right.
take the questions now. Like Mumbai can go for Mayank Markande, and they need a pace bowler. Chris Jordan and Nathan Coulter can fill the job for them. Yep. Mumbai.
100%. Mumbai Indians love Coulter. I'm actually not the biggest fan of his, but the Mumbai Indians have always had some kind of thought with. They always go for Coulter. They did so even last year. I think he went for 8.5 crores the last time he was in the auction, and I would say he delivered for what he was worth. He's bowled pretty well. He bowls the heavy ball. Mayank Markande, no, not so much. I think Murugan Ashwin, Mayank Markande, more or less fill up in the same category. What was the other name that was there? Basil Thampi is
Chris
playing
Jordan.
now.
Chris Jordan.
Yeah,
Chris
basically.
But
Jordan,
can
Chris
you just
Jordan,
give a
I
shout out to
feel
this guy?
what?
Priyansh. Can you just give a shout out to this guy, Priyansh Khatana?
Oh, shout out to Priyansh Khatana. Chris Jordan, I feel in the death is like, I mean, he's been great at the death, but up front he's leaking runs again. Jasprit Bumrah is going to be one over in the power play, one in the middle, two at the death. Chris Jordan, I don't know. It'll be slightly tricky, but he won't disappoint. Like if you get him for a certain amount, maybe get him about maybe 4.5 crores or so, a little below that even. I think there would be no disappointed faces in the dugout. But they really need somebody who will really. You have to control the middle overs of the T20 game, or else it'll
Yeah,
slip out really quickly. And Mumbai Indians at the point don't have that. They
yeah,
they they have nobody who can control the innings. Kunal Pandey is not a wicket taker, but he's very accurate. He could control the innings. He's had a couple of bad games for sure, but he can. Kunal Pandey will control you an innings for you, and Hardik Pandya can come in and just get some pace off and sometimes just hit into the deck. He can do something of that sort.
yeah,
Kyron Pollard will have to bowl like I think 4 overs at this rate. Take the
yeah.
pace off the ball, just come in at 110 and just leave the ball in and do something of that sort. But I don't see a lot of control in Mumbai Indians as
It
such
also
this
depends on
time
whether
around.
Hardik balls, right?
Oh no,
Like,
this
So he said it's a
I'm
surprise.
talking about. Mumbai Indians. They're talking about Markanday and
Markande,
Chris
yeah.
Jordan coming in for Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, I
So
think
you know,
it also depends on whether Chris Jordan can offer them, right? With the kind of death ball exploits he's doing with England. Because he's been a very erratic player in the IPL. He has not really lived up to his potential. If you look at his IPL
100%,
stats, he has an economy rate close to
100%,
9 or 10.
100%.
The thing is,
But
actually,
but but to
Coulter
be
can give
fair,
you a few hits, yeah, in the end. Like, he can give you a few big hits in the end. We've seen it as.
that's true. And to be fair to many of the players, in fact, in the IPL, they have played for teams that are very unsettled at the management and at the core itself. He's played for RCB, he's played for Punjab. They are very unsettled. I mean, more than the hunger of winning, their irritation of not winning really eats out of them. And it is seen sometimes, and you Chris Jordan cannot be your number one bowler. I'll be very straight with this. Bumrah is your number one bowler, but Chris Jordan can be. He can be like the Scottie Pippen to the Michael Jordan. I mean, that is a role he can fit into. You ask him to take 3 wickets and give 20 runs. That is not the kind of bowler he is. And if you expect that out of him, you yourself are a fool. So he'll be a good option, but of course with a certain amount of price set to what he's doing. Apart from that, I feel there are a good amount of options out there. But Jordan is, of course, definitely to look out to. Mayak Markande, no, not so much. I think Mumbai Indians did pick him initially, and he got the wicket of Dhoni, and there was a big deal. He got 4 wickets in that match, but
Yeah.
apart from that, nothing really eventful has happened with him, and his bowling has been really really mediocre. Nothing more.
Yeah, actually, we got
Yeah,
another question
there's
on
another
top,
question
actually.
on Suresh Raina. Should Suresh Raina be picked up by Gujarat? Not a bad option, though. Not a bad
I
option.
guess Rahane would be a better option, actually.
But they'll be looking for the overseas wicket-keeping slot, I feel. Maybe Glenn
I
Phillips, as
agree.
I mentioned, Devin Conway. These lads are definitely there up for the
Ooh.
grabs. Probably these lads can definitely fill in that in the middle or a number 5 position, which looks like a conundrum for Gujarat at the moment. And it could probably bring the balance as well. Glenn Phillips, he's a live wire in the field. If you get him, and also an Indian wicket-keeper, if you can field them both in an 11, Glenn Phillips can also offer you with the ball and probably save 20 to 40 runs, 20 to 30 runs, I would say, on the field. And he's already plus 20 on a T20 game once he goes to bat. So that's a definitive added bonus you have with Glenn Phillips. And also, Darren Conway is a good player of spin. And in conditions like Narendra Modi Stadium, etc., if they're going to go in the future and play, you need a middle order batsman who can actually control and give that runs in the middle with the and by taking down spinners. What we've seen with Devon Conway is he's got the reverse sweeps, got the sweeps, and he's also a good player who can come down the track and smother his spin. So that's what you get out of Devon Conway. But on that Glenn Phillips, I thought he's had some really good innings. If you look at his CPL records, in CPL he's done really well, especially in some of the pitches which is thrown quite a bit. He has come out there in the middle and took the team to a very good score where the team was struggling in 10 for 2, 20 for 2. He has come in there and taken the team scores to 160, 170. That's what Glenn Phillips brings. And I'm also missing on one more wicket keeper, Tim Seifert. Tim Seifert is another by who teams will be looking at because he's also a very good wicket keeping choice because these both are very similar, Tim Seifert and Glenn Phillips, even in their looks, even in the kind of play, in the way they place. Both are very aggressive batsmen, and so I think these are 3 wicket-keeping choices from New Zealand which are up for the grabs. Other than that, I think Gujarat can probably try the Dinesh Banna, the under 19 wicket-keeper batsman who did really well. He's got that six-hitting ability, and I feel he can be a long-term investment. For example, I've seen him bat for Challenger Trophy in under 19. I saw a couple of his videos. The way he was striking, it just felt like he can strike the ball at will. And it's not often that we see with ballers, right? A batsman who can come and strike the ball at will. And that's something which this Dinesh Banna guy brings into the fore as well. So I believe Gujarat Titans will have to definitely invest in a number 3 position. It could be Suresh Raina, as one of our viewers already mentioned out, or it could be someone like Devin Conway who brings in a different added ability altogether because he is an all-round cricketer. I believe to say so at least because he can bat anywhere in the top 5, and he can also offer with the gloves. And he's a good leadership candidate to have around Hardik as well. So that's where I feel Devin Conway could be a good prospect for Gujarat to invest upon. And other than that, Sanjay, you want to take another question on Timol Mills?
Tamal Mills is a good Tamal Mills is also a good ball. His slower balls and his skills to hit the deck hard. Mills can also show. Tamal Mills, I'll be very honest. his IPL highlight has been that he went for 14 crores for RCB. Performances haven't been up to the mark, to be very honest. He had a very short-lived, very successful short-lived stint with the English team also. He has the
Yeah,
pace, definitely, but like not many batsmen struggled to play against him. He was being hit, and it's the same now also. I feel a lot of us what a lot of us are doing is we are watching people play in other leagues and saying, why can this player not go for those bucks? Because a lot of big players do not play those leagues.
yeah.
That is the reason. I mean, comparing an IPL to any other league is probably even the BBL, who many claim is the second best league after the IPL.
No, no,
What
like,
happens there and what happens here is extremely different.
yeah.
The media, the crowds coming in, and I mean, a, a couple of our
The
Indian
biggest
players go
example
to
is,
those
yeah,
leagues.
please.
They will set the tournament on fire. It is like that, short. So I feel, and the conditions are very different.
Yeah,
A Rashid Khan in a stadium like Melbourne is completely different to a Rashid Khan that will play for Gujarat. And that is a fact. And so there will be a difference. And the fact that a lot of international cricketers come here, it gets a little more difficult for them. Believe it or not, heat is a factor. Bowling 4 overs, I mean, and with that kind of intensity, and you have to justify a price tag, or else you go from 14 crores to being unsold. Dinesh Karthik went from 16 to 5. There's a lot of things that happen. This game is slightly cruel, and Timal Mills, I don't think at the moment has the deliverables to come on and execute what at the moment we think he should.
yeah. I think question we've got a question Rajasthan Royals as well.
We have
So we
covered that
already did
actually.
discuss about Rajasthan Royals. If I have to give an overview summary, they had a 7 on 10 kind of a day in the auction table. I would even give it an 8 on 10 because they were able to get a cumulative two players for 12 crores, which is a steal for any team. So they got Chehel and Ashwin for cumulative 12 crores. That's a huge tick mark for them. They got a finisher in Hetmeyer, which many teams would have wanted to have him for 8 crores. So I think that's a huge bonus for them. And now they have Devdutt Padikkal, whom they can probably invest on for next 10 years at least, and Yashasvi Jaiswal alongside them. So as per reports, what we're hearing is David Patel is going to bat at number three. That's what the hints we got from the owner of Rajasthan Royals. If that's the case, then the balance of the team changes again. But then the only position they'll be looking to invest tomorrow is probably a spinner more. Not spinner, sorry, a pacer more. They probably lack in that front. Someone to support probably Trent Bolt. We've often seen with Rajasthan Royals, they've always had this spearhead pacer, but nobody to support. But for example, Jofra Archer was always there. He'd always pick up wickets up front and also in the death. But there was always a huge hole in the back end, like when the likes of Rajput, Jaydev Unadkat, who used to leak runs at a rate even people couldn't imagine. So these are some of the areas which I believe that Rajasthan Royals will definitely looking to invest upon. Other than that, I believe looking into Rajasthan Royals' overall squad, I think they've got a 9 on 10 or an 8 on 10 kind of a day so far. Let's discuss it tomorrow in the evening as to how they end up. Now they might look really good. If tomorrow they have a bad day, or they might get if things don't go their way, and that's going to be their squad for the rest of the season. Today we are analyzing squads from a point of view that how they did on day one. Tomorrow, if the teams are not able to get the finish what they're looking to get, then probably that might really turn the fortunes for season. For example, Mumbai Indians, they would definitely want to get someone like a Timal Mills, Chris Jordan, Nathan Coulter. What if they don't get all of these players? They do have the cash in hand, but we don't know what's going inside the camp. But one player I'm sure I'm just going to Mumbai Indians again. One player I'm sure Mumbai Indians will look for is Marco Jansen. Just because he has spent the time in the camp, they've got the money in the bank, and also he's a good batsman towards the lower end, right? He can give you those two, three big hits. He can probably give you those 15, 20 runs at the end. So altogether, I'm sure Mumbai Indians will be looking to invest in Marco Jansen and also in Rajvardhan Hangargekar, as we discussed yesterday on our show as well, because he'll be that one player who Mumbai Indians will look to groom for the future and make him probably get up on the batting order season by season. Right now, he might probably start at number nine. Probably 2 seasons later, it'll be a number seven, number six. So that's where Mumbai Indians will be looking at a Rajvardhan Hangarkar. Let's look at one more question. Yeah, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll just read it out. Sundar is also a good bowling all rounder, very economical, can bowl in power play, and does the job which Kunal does. I think Mumbai could have gone behind Sundar. What's your thoughts? I think if Mumbai wanted someone of that sort, they would have might as well have gone behind Kunal himself. I feel. But the fact that they didn't very clearly state they had something very different in mind, and they are the fact that they are not going for a spinning all rounder is very evident of the fact that they will be willing to spend money on a couple of bowlers now. I
Yeah.
mean, unlike CSK, who believe that everybody who bats should be, maybe be able to roll their arm over, or
Yeah.
everybody who bowls can do a little with the bat. Mumbai Indians have been slightly more traditional with their approach. They want the top six to play bat like they expect them to, and they expect 3-4 bowlers to be just proper bowlers and give you those overs and just right, do the job right. I feel they will go back for someone like a Jayant Yadav, somebody who just provides that kind of balance in the team,
Yeah.
decent with the decent with the bat, very instrumental with the ball. I think they will go for someone of that sort. They will be spending money. I'm still amazed as to why they did not dig the bank for Chahal, but definitely maybe they will go in for one more spinner. Shreyas
Yeah.
Gopal could have been a good option, but he's of course they got him at a very low price and he's not in contention. But be prepared. I feel Nathan Coulter definitely. I'm actually expect him Nathan Coulter to go for good money tomorrow. Marco Jansen maybe not. One Indian bowler also now is a must. Hardik
Yeah.
Pandya provided those couple of overs. See Shivam Dube is left, right? I think they're waiting for someone like a Shivam Dube in terms of an all-rounder who can
Yeah.
really hit the ball. And again, Shivam Dube, although his performance has been subpar as to what he can do in the way he has done, I feel, but if you give Shivam Dube the cushion of having Rohit Sharma above him and Karan Poyar coming after him to bat, I feel when a player has that kind of freedom, he knows that he has to do well for the team he plays in. But even if he fails and somebody else does well, he's not going to get a lot of scrutiny. So I feel when he himself values his wicket slightly lower than what everybody else does, I think he's going to play just fine. So maybe looking for something of that sort. So no, I don't think Sundar for me. Also, they will play in Wankhede. So I mean, Sundar, even Kunal Pandya. Kunal Pandya is somebody who even ducks and bounces the ball into the batsman, and sometimes just tries to bowl Yorkers 6 on 6. So Sundar is not that kind of a bowler, and if he tries to do that, he will go for runs. And Wankhede is a different wicket. So no, no Sundar for me. And if they wanted something of that sort, I think they would have gone for Kunal himself. But the fact that they didn't is very clear that they probably want a medium pacer all rounder and
Yeah.
one or two proper bowlers, and they have room for one more batsman. I think they'll accommodate one more batsman in that.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys reckon that Sanju Samson might lose his captaincy coming back to RR? Is there a chance that
For
Sanju
what
Samson
reason?
just because I just because of the fact that now you have a butler who they can invest upon? Ashwin is there. Probably, do you reckon that Sanju Samson's captaincy pecking order might definitely
No,
change?
I think these players will just support him in the role of a captaincy rather than taking over as captain. Ashwin, who just came into the side, and Sanju has been part of the setup for
Yeah.
almost how much years? He's been there
18.
from yeah, he's been there for a few years now, and
Yeah.
even Butler has been there, but they chose Sanju over him as I guess he was an Indian. I guess he was chosen because he was an Indian, and I don't think so. He's going to be losing his captaincy.
Yeah.
Same.
He comes up well
I
as
feel
well,
very
Ashwin.
similar too. In fact, Ashwin, like they took captaincy away from Ashwin from his previous team. Butler's been there in Rajasthan Royals for a while, and I don't think it has ever come in as a thought. But I don't know. So the thing is, the way somebody sees the game from behind the stumps, also that falls up as something as, and they've invested in Sanju Samson. Let's not forget, although he has been captain for a couple of seasons, he is somebody the Rajasthan Royals were they echoed that he is somebody they're investing in, and it's
Yeah.
okay they don't get very immediate decisions, although it'll be great if they did. But if they don't get immediate decisions, there's somebody who they're grooming, and there's a good 7-8 years at least left in front of Sanju Samson to do a world of good to them. So I
Yeah.
mean, like this is the point where Sanju Samson has to start proving himself, or Rajasthan Royals would actually want Samson to start doing well. But I think if he has a couple of bad seasons, then maybe they might look for something of that sort. But at the moment, I don't know. At least this season and the next one, I think he's short. It's not going to be the captain.
I think he has done like comparatively well when he has got the captaincy. He has a bit more
Yeah. He had a
consistency
500
last year.
run season last time. So I think
Yeah,
captaincy has definitely helped him to be a more matured batsman.
responsible
The
player, you can
temperament
say.
of his has definitely improved. So definitely tick marks on those aspects. But other than that, I feel a leadership quality wise, he probably lacks on multiple fronts. That's where probably a Kumar Sangakkara can come into the fold, helping this guy, grooming him. Maybe 2 years down the line, he could be a finished product as a captain. It's early to judge him because of the team which he got last season as well. We did discuss about in the Sport Intellect podcast last season that how bad was the middle order of Rajasthan Royals and how are they going to struggle. So that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly how turn of events took place as well. So just looking at those things, I believe Rajasthan Royals, this time around is a better team, a well-rounded unit, and I'm sure that Sanju Samson just have to support them and probably prove his captaincy mettle this time. Let's talk about the second last team. What we have, that's KKR.
Is it the second last team? You sure?
Yeah, because we have Punjab Kings and KKR to cover.
No, Punjab Kings is done. Yeah.
We've
Oh
covered
no,
Punjab
no,
also.
no,
Kolkata is the last player to.
We have not covered Punjab.
Oh,
yeah, we went to
really?
Mumbai. Like, yeah.
We did not cover Punjab. Yeah.
I think I am to blame for that. Sorry. I'll start on with KKR. I'll The first time I see a pop up is Shreyas Iyer, 12.25 crores. We spoke about this in the afternoon. Maybe a little more than at least I would have expected. But of course, he's been. I mean, people are talking about him fetching 20 crores. So I think for 12 crores, I think you guys must be thinking it's a steal. But yeah,
No,
no
no, that's
complaints there as far as Iyer's concerned. They have two Iyers now, Venkatesh and Shreyas. I think they'll be batting a lot. Sheldon Jackson, I've always liked Sheldon Jackson, so I'm glad to see him being picked and I feel he's gonna get more chances here.
Yeah.
Andy Russell, in terms of all rounders, I see again. I just hope Andy Russell isn't treated the way he was treated the last couple of seasons, pushing him down and down and down in the order. I just feel maybe he gets at number five position and they say, "Like, boss, this is yours," or number four, "This is yours. You do what you have to do." You can't expect him to hit 70 runs against the RCB in 30 balls every now and then. That's not humanly possible. The fact that the man did it twice is enough testament of what he can do. That's not something you can expect someone like him to do again and again. Venkatesh Iyer, I feel great. He has been. Look at Venkatesh Iyer's progress. He literally has half a season behind him, and he's gone directly from a good 20 lakh rupees to an 8 crores. So good for him. He's very decent with the ball too. Maybe he could do with a little more control, but yet again, he's had very little exposure to what IPL has. Sunil Narayan, again, not the bowler he used to be, but in no means a mediocre or a subpar bowler. Still very valued. I won't be surprised if I even see him every now and then opening with, maybe Venkatesh Iyer and just hitting the ball around. Shivam Mavi is the next. Shivam Mavi actually surprised me with his price tag. It says 7 crores and 25 lakhs. For somebody who gets injured very often and tends to except a couple of games, he has succumbed under pressure. But let's in all honesty, he's young and he doesn't have that many games behind him, so I think that'll be okay. Nitish Rana at 8 crores, very fairly priced. I feel he gives you those quick runs also at times. He scores at a decent rate when it comes to spinners. I find him as a good buy. Pat Cummins at 7.25 crores spoke again in the afternoon that's actually exactly half the amount that he fetched last time around.
Yeah.
But again, he's been great with the ball now. He's the Australian captain and he's coming off some criticism from back home.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. He has a point to prove somewhere or the other, and he'll try and do it every way he can. Varun Chakravarti, I feel, again, as far as I'm considered, great. He's a great bowler, but somewhere he lacks that. I won't call it mystery, but I'll just call it that amount of thought that somebody puts in behind bowling every delivery. Somewhere I
Yeah.
feel he's lacking that, and maybe this is the season. Last time around, people had started to pick him. Eventually, we were taking more risks against him. Maybe this is the season that I don't know. I just hope he's able to justify the price that is written next to his name, but I find it really tough. So I think KKR have had a 6 on 10 kind of auction as far as I'm concerned. Need to heavily invest in batting. Like these are all the players that they have. I mean, Nitish Rana, okay, great. Venkatesh Iyer is definite starter as far as I'm concerned. Shreyas Iyer, definitely. Sheldon Jackson will have to play at this rate.
Yeah, there's only
Sheldon
one
Jackson will.
keeper that they have right now. Until now, they have this.
I mean, Nitish Rana has done the gloves before, to be honest, and I mean, but let's face it, he's not the best of keepers.
No, no,
And
Nitish Rana can chip in with the ball at one point of the game, so I don't think
exactly, so that happens to be a point of debate, but they will need a backup keeper. I'm just thinking that who it could be. If not, Sheldon Jackson have to play all 14 games, and I see Sheldon Jackson as something similar to what Nikhil did last time around for KKR, Nikhil Nayak, something of that sort. But Sheldon
Yeah,
Jackson's ability is slightly better than him, to be honest.
yeah,
And I just hope he comes good. I mean, I've been following him for a couple of years, in fact, and he's really, I mean, he has that ability.
yeah,
He can do what the team requires of him.
yeah,
Shreyas Iyer, once he gets in, can take a spinner out. Like when he can make sure this spinner doesn't play for the next 3 games. He's that kind of a person, but he
yeah,
needs to get in. Someone like a Shreyas Iyer. And
yeah,
Andre Russell, he is what he is. I mean, I have no comments on that. Everybody's seen that or at least read about
yeah,
it. But they need some even Venkatesh Iyer swings his bat around more often than most other players do. But they need someone again that stabilizing agent. I wouldn't call somebody a slow batsman or a anchor, but need
yeah,
a stabilizing agent. For example, Rohit Sharma is a stabilizing agent. He is not a slow batsman by any means, but he
yeah,
just keeps that calmness when he is batting and he will
yeah. There's a
keep
cool head.
speaking to the other batters. Yeah,
Yeah,
you need just something of that sort to
yeah.
happen
That's where
with this team.
space side comes into the play, right?
yep,
I think he should, and he is of course he is still a young player, but he has good amount of cricket behind him.
Yeah,
He is. I would like to see him as someone as a leader coming out.
true,
But the thing is, they
true.
have 12 crores left now in the bank, and they have to pick at least 9 players. So what? Where are they putting money now? I mean, do they want another bowler, pure bowler, or do
Yeah,
they want a batsman or two? I mean, they will definitely not have everything that they want, but at least if they can take one department, at least stick their batting or at least stick their bowling and do something of that sort of manage in the other department.
yeah,
But at present, they've had good buys, but they haven't taken any kind of department yet. For example, Mumbai Indians has their batting settled. They can do with one or two batsmen here and there. Okay,
yeah,
they are still yet to figure out which department is the strong zone. Maybe that's all that's left, and I think they're good to go. I mean, but of course they need some kind of stabilizing agent in this team. 6 on 10 for me. Again, slightly expensive buys, but then you expect this. Not everybody can have a great option, so I think I'm actually every team that's not Mumbai Indians gets does decently or like less than decently at an auction. It's good for me. I feel very happy. Shreyas Iyer is a Mumbai boy, though. I just hope, and I have a corner for KKR since Gautam Gambhir's played for it. I want the team to do decently well, and I at least expect them to put up a fight. This team doesn't look threatening to me. That's all. That is all my concerns.
yeah,
I want. I mean, if this team plays against any team, at least I want them to pose a threat or to really intimidate the opposition or put them in a spot of bother. At the moment, not that much. Just
yeah,
a little, not that much.
true. Let's talk about the last team, Punjab
Punjab
Kings.
Kings. So they spent 43.35 crores in the auction and 28.65 crores left, and 11 players filled with 9 Indians and 2 overseas. They got Shikhar Dhawan for 8.25 crores. Is it a good buy? I guess it's a really good buy because
Yeah,
he always gives you 500 plus runs, 400 plus runs. He's that consistent player that not much people actually talk about it, but he does
yeah,
get you the runs. And Prab Simran Singh, that as wicket keepers, they got Prab Simran and Johnny Bairstow. Johnny
mm,
Bairstow for 6.75 crores, and Ishan Porel again. He was part of the setup before, yeah. And again for 25 lakhs, and Rahul Chahar for 5.25 crores, and Kahiso Rabada
mm,
9.25 crores. I think that is a really good buy, considering that fact that Harshal Patel got 10.75. Kaisa Roberta
Yeah,
got 9.25. I guess that's a really good one. And
yeah,
Arshdeep Singh for 4 crores. He was retained. And Jitesh Sharma 20 lakhs. Shah Rukh Khan 9 crores. Harpreet Brar 3.8 crores. Shah Rukh Khan, let's talk about him.
Yeah, definitely. We did discuss about Shah Rukh Khan that he would be someone that who's gonna go for big money yesterday, and he did justify that. But I'm quite surprised at why did Punjab let go of him if they wanted to buy back. You could have probably retained him for a 7 crore, unless Shah Rukh Khan would have had difference of opinion with the team saying that I want to go into the auction probably to get better price tag. But I'm quite baffled by that decision and also getting him back. But all in all, a good day at the auction for Punjab Kings. But if you look at the squad balance, which we are going to talk about right now. Shikhar Dhawan is a good buy. Mayank Agarwal, yet again, opening of the Punjab Kings get a 9 on 10. They definitely will be looking to bank on their opening position and they will be looking to get those consistent starts. And Shikhar Dhawan and Mayank Agarwal are more similar kind of players. They've done well for their respective teams previously as well. Now, if you talk about Johnny Bairstow, that's a very good buy, I feel, because he can buy a number 4 for them and he offers with the gloves as well. So Johnny Bairstow is also a huge buy because he can probably give them the stability. But other than that, Shah Rukh Khan can probably bat number 5, number 6. So they have some big holes, especially when it comes to number 3, number 6. If Shah Rukh Khan bats in number 5, it's good. But then the issue what comes in now is Kagiso Rabada will be pairing him with Arshdeep Singh. They just have one overseas bowler and an inexperienced Indian bowler. Arshdeep Singh has done well in the previous editions of IPL where he's given that opportunity to bowl and he's delivered for them. But other than that, he's still a raw talent. You can still expect a lot out of him, especially when it comes to playing in those high pressure games. Or can he finish? Can he do the job for Punjab Kings like how Anvik Nokia and Rabada used to pair up? So that's a huge question mark. So tomorrow in the auction, I'm sure that Punjab Kings with the purse they've got now left, I think they've got 28 crores left. So that's a huge amount of money which they've got left. I'm sure they'll be looking for another overseas pacer who can probably support Kagicho Rabada going into the season. Alongside that, we'll also be looking at a middle order batsman or a number 3 batsman who can play the anchor. It could probably be from the under 19 team, but at the same time, a good domestic Indian batsman who can give them those solidifying starts. If the team is one down in the span of 2 overs, who's going to be that batsman who's going to take them forward? If the team is 10 for 3, who's going to be the batsman who's going to settle it down at the same time and accelerate towards the end? So they'll be looking for that kind of a player. Johnny Bairstow, we have seen him in T20 cricket. He plays in a certain amount of tempo. He doesn't change. Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan are good, but on the bad day when these both fail, who are going to be those players who want to play around them? That's been the case with Punjab forever now. Shah Rukh Khan, he's a good finisher, but he's not a solidifier. So that's the same question which comes for Punjab again, as always. So I see them going for an Aiden Markram and a Rassi Van Anderson. That's my hunch. Rassi Van Anderson and Aiden Markram could be these two players.
I think
And
they might go for a quality spinner. I really feel they might go for a quality spinner because they don't have anyone to support Rahul Chehar, I guess.
I don't think Rahul Shah will require that much of support. I feel that bowling is pretty decent. I'll be very honest with that. Ishan
yeah,
Porel is actually he bowls well. I don't think we've seen a lot of him in the IPL, but
yeah,
Ishan Porel, he's very accurate bowler. Rahul Shah has been the lead spinner for Mumbai and he's played where he knows how to lead his department. Kagiso Rabada, I have no words to say for him. I have a question though. Shah Rukh Khan for 9 crores. Okay, great. What he brings to the table is immense, but he is still completely paid on potential. He hasn't scored those 80 or 40 deliveries yet.
yeah,
It is everybody is saying he it's like a Karen Pollard when he came in initially and this and that. It's
yeah,
been 12 years since Karen Pollard's come in and Karen Pollard is still it takes a lot to what Shah Rukh Khan does to stay relevant in his role.
yeah.
It will take some monstrous innings to come from him, and he will have to do something like what Karen Pollard has done.
Can you win
And
a game where you need 50 of 20 balls, where you need 70 of
yes,
35 balls? That's
exactly.
what Karen Pollard did.
And what I'm pointing out is he has been in a couple of situations like this in the last season. He
Yeah,
has done well, but he hasn't got the team home.
yeah,
You have to finish, and when he gets out, this team has a history of collapsing and getting those quick wickets. Mumbai Indians have a history of losing to them for some reason, which I don't like. Wonderful opening pair though.
yeah,
Mayank Agarwal really goes bonkers in the last couple of seasons. That's how he's played.
yeah,
Give Shikhar Dhawan that some good amount of time he can play his strokes, even if it finds the fielder. I think it's okay every now
yeah,
and then. Johnny Bairstow, I think, will come number 3. I believe. I'm not very sure how they're gonna do that, but
yeah,
Prabhsimran Singh probably will not play. They need at least 2 more batsmen.
yeah.
100%. Shah Rukh Khan, I feel, is a number five. So they need one number four. They will need one number six also.
Yeah.
100%. They need a number four and a number six. But like you said, Aiden Markram, yes, maybe. I can see Markram at number three and then Best going down at number four. Van Dusen will be someone who will. I think he's going to go for big bucks. I mean, I'm just waiting for Van Dusen to come. And these guys, I mean, they have the purse. These guys, Mumbai Indians, and I can maybe see even a Hyderabad pushing for someone like him.
Maybe
But like
Titans.
Van,
I think
probably.
Sunrise Hyderabad might be going for Rossi Vandudusan because they are looking for a keeper option as well. He's a keeper. He has kept previously for his domestic franchises, so that's why I feel.
Probably. So, but these guys really need someone like a Van Dusen. I mean, there will be a couple of teams going after him, but someone like a Van Dusen, Punjab Kings need that kind of a person because if they don't have that number four is actually it doesn't get most of the runs, but has to be great against spin. You get two quick wickets, has to stabilize that innings, score a lot of runs. They have to go and beat the crap out of bowlers. Van Dusen can do that. So I'm seeing this team needing him or someone similar. Shah Rukh Khan for me, I would love to watch him, and I would pay to watch that man, but he hasn't had that kind of an innings yet where I've been at the edge of my seat yet. Has the
Yeah,
ability. He's hit a couple of sixes that very few people can hit. He's one of the rare Indian batsmen who can have an outside edge of the bat, still go outside the boundary. But maybe that excites us more as people that someone from the subcontinent is hitting the way he's hitting the ball. But he's still a couple of monstrous innings away from justifying that price tag, which I'm very eager. I'm hoping he does that because it'll be some heck of entertainment coming.
yeah, yeah. I think that's it for today. I mean, we've covered almost all the squads. We've had a good day covering almost in depth all the squads with the data. Sanjit, you were brilliant. I mean, it was great to have different opinions as well. So, thanks for all the questions. I think Sanjit, you want to take the last question? Polar is washed. No, still. I don't understand what he meant by that, but
Yeah, I'm just guessing from the emoji and the word watch that there is some kind of mockery. Let me know which team you support, and I'll tell you the innings that he has played against that team,
Most
and we
probably
can
support
continue the
Rajasthan. You can see his
conversation.
comment.
Oh no, nothing in Rajasthan. Rajasthan Royals definitely won the most through the auction. I agree, actually. I mean, and especially for the team that they had last time around, and with the stars they had missing, I feel this time they have something. They have much more to offer. I mean, on paper, they are probably one of the few teams that you would want to beat. But again, performance is performance at the end of the day. So, and different people, and some teams have this knack of getting the best out of the people who didn't expect. I remember Abel previously on the episode just now. He said that the guy scored a couple of zeros in the last season. So did Ruturaj, but then the next season he gave 650 runs. So it really depends on the team and the backing you have. I
yeah.
mean, actually, we won't be really surprised if, you know, still now, who is Punjab's captain? Shikhar Dhawan? I don't think so. Mayank
I think
Agarwal didn't, but they
it could be
didn't trust
Mike.
him. Yeah, they didn't trust him firsthand. So maybe are they looking for a captain? I don't think so. I think now they are settled more or less that Mayank Agarwal is their captain. But then they have 28 crores left. Who knows? Maybe they just pick somebody up, and I don't really see anybody who's left who can take up that role. Again, Punjab on potential, very good. But I only see Mayank Agarwal having those kind of performances that take the match away from opponents. But apart from that, no. And a couple of things coming from maybe Kakis or Rabada. They have control in their bowling though. That is one thing I'm happy about. I mean, they
Yeah,
have the ability to pull a game back with the three bowlers, pure bowlers that they have. But that's it. This team still needs a lot, or a lot needs to come from a couple of people that they've already picked. Otherwise, I don't see this team, qualifying. That's going to be very interesting to this team going ahead.
Yep.
Sankey, you want to answer?
To
I've
be
been telling you
honest,
that. So, Sankey, go first. Yeah,
who? Me.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. I personally feel it might be Liam Livingston among the teams who have the purse because he provides that the power hitting option that most teams will want, and
yeah,
he can ball off spin and as Abel mentioned leg spin as well. So I think he is the man to go for among the teams with the purse. The teams without the purse don't even look for him because I think he's gonna go for big money.
yeah. I think Rusty Vanderdusen, just because of what he can offer, because he's also an all-round cricketer, can offer with the gloves. He's a solid batsman. Again, he plays spin incredibly well for a player coming from South Africa, because I've seen barely players from South Africa play spin that well. Ashim Amla was one, Abril was one, and other than that, I would say Rusty Van Anderson is up there in terms of playing spin bowling ability. So Rusty Van Anderson could be a huge buy in the auction tomorrow. Alongside him, I would just rate another fast bowler who's yet to come. I think it could be who's yet to come in terms of fast bowlers. David Willey is there. David Willey could go for a decent amount of price because he also offers with the bat. But maybe Rassi Van Der Zee will be the number one candidate who I believe will go for a huge amount of money. And also alongside Odean Smith, just watch out for him because the recency bias always kicks into the IPL franchises, and everybody remembers the kind of innings which he played over the last 1 week against India, and especially the way he took over the spinners, the way in which he played Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav is known for his trickery and his guile of deceiving the batsman, but he went after him. So I believe Odean Smith could be that one option which many teams would like to have in their squad as well. So Rasiman and Odean Smith and probably David Willey. So these around these players will with whom I believe that will go for the biggest amount of price. Sanjit, I would like to know from you.
I would actually only say Rasim Anderson too, because definitely he's like the Surya Kumar Yadav kind of player who will stay just take a few balls to get in and then really start going from there.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I feel Nathan Coulter will fetch a good amount of money because for what he brings, I think Mumbai Indians will want him, and the fact that there are two teams more this time, I feel that you will have a couple of people going for someone like Nathan Coulter. I see Hardik Pandya wanting someone like that to at least to support him, someone similar of that sort. But yeah, I'm not very sure about this. Is Travis Head in the scheme of things for the IPL,
I'm not
or is
seeing
he
it.
out?
I don't think so.
I'm not very sure if he is or if he isn't. But I feel, but if he is, then maybe I mean he has a very good chance of getting him. I think he's pulled out of the IPL. Though. I'm not very sure, but
Yeah.
I have to check for it. But if he is, then maybe him, Van Dusen,
I think
and
Tim David
Coulter.
is missing. Tim David could go break the bank as well because many teams will be following his performances in the PSL very closely, and what he's done in the PSL over the last 2 weeks has been incredible. So many teams are looking for a finisher role, and also Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings, everyone. So Tim David is another option I'm giving who could break the bank.
What about it? What about Kyle Jamieson? Is he in? Is he in the scheme of
Yeah,
things?
he's there.
But I don't feel he's
I
going to
see.
be
I see someone like a Mumbai Indians running after him in that case. Even a few other teams, he's
Mumbai Indians
very,
might, but he can actually
very
he
handsome.
can bat as well.
Yeah, I think he is a like replacement for Nathan Coulter. If at all they don't get Nathan Coulter, Kyle Jameson is the next
I think
possible.
Jameson too. In that case, he's even a little more intimidating than maybe a Coulter. Troubles a few batsmen, but I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Jameson though. I
Yeah,
mean, he really excites me as a bowler. But then, yeah, I think Rasif Dusan among all these people will rank higher than the rest.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, would
Uh,
you?
who do you
Yeah,
think
we
is the best?
mentioned it before. It
So let's
was
rate the teams. I think the top three for me: Sunrisers Hyderabad a nine on 10, RR a
LSG,
9 on 10, and
Lucknow Super
probably
Giants.
RCB a 7 on 10, and who else? Mumbai Indians, Chennai
I
Super
guess
Kings 8 on 10,
Lucknow should be rated
Lucknow
high.
Super Giants a 8 on 10. So these are the top four teams who I can really pick out.
Uh, let's see. I would. I'm not very sure. I think Lucknow Super Giants, in terms of the best signings, I think not very smart, slightly irresponsible, but they've had some amazing players. So I think Lucknow Super Giants have had a great day. Rajasthan Royals, definitely, they've had a great day. Who else? Mumbai Indians got what they wanted, but I don't think they are the smartest of buys. But then again, with somebody who's had a lot of success, similar with Chennai Super Kings, I don't think they're the smartest of buys, but they've won more than anybody else has. So maybe there's something they see and we don't. But for me, maybe Lucknow and definitely Rajasthan Royals. These two teams have, at least for the teams, for a new team and a team that hasn't done very well, I think they've had the players they've always needed now. So I don't think anything else should be a problem going ahead. So I think these two have been very lucky today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another question is there: which team has the best bowling lineup as of now?
Sunrise Hyderabad. No doubt. I think Sunrisers Hyderabad, RCB, not bad, not bad. Because if you look at the bowling from another perspective, it's really good. Mohammad Siraj, Harshal Patel, Hasaranga, Hazelwood, really good. Strong core of bowling attack, strong core in bowling. Lucknow Super Giants has a decent bowling attack. They've got Avesh Khan and Lockie Ferguson, is it?
Yep.
Avesh Khan, no, Avesh Khan and
Yeah,
Rabat.
I guess it is Lockie Ferguson.
I will check that team in just a second.
Wait,
I
is it
think
Lucknow?
Lucknow, yeah.
Oh,
Lucknow
Avishkan
is
is Markwood. It's Markwood. It's Markwood.
Markwood. So they are a they're a good bowling attack as well. So I would rate RCB, Lucknow, Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a good bowling attack so far. Ashwin Chahal and also having Trent Bolt is a good bowling attack. They're shaping up to be a good bowling attack. Sunrisers Hyderabad is right up there because of the Indian bowling core what they have. So these are some of the best bowling attacks. So let's discuss this tomorrow as we come live. We'll have a better picture and we can
Yeah,
probably analyze the squad and probably see where they end up.
absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys. Have a good
Thank
Thank
night.
you
you.
guys. Good night. Good night, everyone.